Welcome to UTAS Stadium in Launceston. It's the biggest clash of the season so far. It's the grand final replay. It's North Launceston on their home turf up against Glenorchy. It's first versus third. North Launceston riding high at the moment, on top of the ladder. Their form's been patchy, but they're on top with 44 points. Glenorchy in third place on a great run of form at the moment. They're on 36. So it should be a magnificent contest. And with me in commentary today, first of all, welcome to Matthew McGee.
Good afternoon, Dave. Good afternoon to all of our listeners right around the state today on the live stream as well. And yeah, interesting game, Dave, isn't it? We love these top four battles, and the Glenorchy. The last time we covered them on City Park Radio, Dave, of course, was that Sunday game down at Launceston, and they were absolutely terrible, if you remember. They got flogged by the Blues, but since then they've won 5 in a row, Glenorchy. So we look forward to seeing what they can bring today in Aurora. North Launceston still got a few out. Taylor Whitford hasn't come up; he's an out, and that's a big loss for the Northern Bombers, who are missing him, and also Joe Lockhart.
Also in commentary this afternoon, welcome to someone whose voice is very familiar to those watching the live stream every week. It's former South Launceston and Sandy Bay player Cam Brown. Welcome, Cam.
Good afternoon, Dave, and good afternoon, Matty, and really looking forward to the game today. Saw this one early on in the season down at KG5, and North Launceston won that one by 3 or 4 goals, but it's definitely a change of fortunes for both these teams since then. I thought Glenorchy were pretty good that day, Dave. They came back pretty hard in an undermanned team, but in the end it was Bart McCulloch that got hold of Glenorchy on that occasion with 5 goals, and the coach Tom Couch, it was also prominent. So really looking forward to seeing where these teams are at this particular point in time in the season.
It's interesting, Brownie, you mentioned that game down at KG5, and even the game against Launceston at Windsor Park. Since then, they've had Watts enter their side. They had Dilger, who didn't play that day, Zach Webster and Ben Reynolds. Now, you've seen Glenorchy a little bit more than us. Those 3 or 4 players, they've brought a lot to the Glenorchy side over the last 5 weeks.
And whether that be run or carry or straighten them up, and Ben Reynolds probably played his best game since coming back, kicked 3 last week, Macca. So certainly they're a different feel about them. And early on the season, they were certainly undermanned with a lot of injuries. So they're starting to get their very best players back on the park.
There was some question marks over Jay Bowden, but looks like he's out there. He's come up, which is great for the game here today. The ruck battle, Alex Lee, we've seen him plenty of times. He's been in great form up against Cameron Duffy and also Mitch Hills.
Yeah, that'll be a really interesting one. I think Duffy's been in pretty good form. Thought he was good in the state game and handled himself really well. But Alex Lee also has been in terrific form. So both those boys, that'll be a pivotal match, you would think. Interesting to see where Jay Bowden does play. Jay Bowden, I should say. So we know he's such a hard matchup. I'd expect him to play fairly close to goal today, Macca, I would have thought.
Got to get down to the boundary. Boundary rider today is Adam Child. Welcome to City Park Radio, Warning.
Yeah, g'day guys. Yeah, the players are all heading out into position. We saw the toss just before, and Glenorchy have won that. They're kicking to the city end, so that would be to the right-hand side of the broadcast screen. And they've got a slight breeze, not too much. I don't think it's going to affect too much at all. We've had a couple of drops of rain on me, so hopefully that's not going to happen too much. Otherwise, I'll be finding some cover here. But it's about 11 degrees. Pretty nice afternoon for footy.
Thanks, Warnie. We'll hear from you during the day. Also got Dave Gruber on stats today, helping us out as usual here on City Park Radio. Looking forward to the contest as Warnie goes off the air there. Yes, Macca. One
of the key inclusions, Brownie, is Taron Thomas, the youngster. He's going to start down back for North Launceston. As the ball goes up here for this TSL clash, the ball comes down to the pack. It's Donnelly there, gives it over to Ponting. He was pretty electric last game against Devonport. Gives it over to Wadley. It's stolen, though, by Zachy Webster, one of the inclusions. Comes up for North Launceston there from Aaron Richter-Solder. Gives it over to Bennett. It's a scrubby kick taken by Glenorchy just outside their 50. Ball comes over. In fact, the umpire's paid a free kick and it's gone high. It's on behind play as well. The ball comes over and finds Ponting. So the heated battle, these two sides have got a great rivalry over the last few years. Grand finals especially. Couch on the far outer wing. Hits up McCulloch, as Brownie said, kicked 5 in the last game at KG5. McCulloch goes over the top by hands to Lee, a little bit slow getting rid of it. Back to McCulloch, fumbles. Out on the outer wing, kicks inside now. In fact, it was a terrible kick. Kicked into the man on the mark. Brownie, any matchups?
Just looking at here, Macca, Glenorchy starting with a pretty star-studded forward line. Harry Pearce is making his way, picked up by his ex-Mariners teammate in Taron Thomas. So that'll be a good battle for the afternoon, Macca.
And Jay Bowden has played close to goal, as spoken by Cameron Brown early on.
Boundary throw on the far side, no score as yet. It's Duffy up against Lee. It's a shallow throw in, falls to the front. Picked up now by Camrick, inside out, kick off the right. Up towards the boundary line on the far side. Almost a mark there to Reynolds, off hands, out of bounds.
So Ben Reynolds forward, Brownie. We've seen him play down back. Last year's grand final was exceptional. He's gone forward as he's come back into the side.
Yeah, as we mentioned, in pretty good form last week with 3 goals. So that'll be a really interesting matchup to see how that one goes this afternoon, Mac. I think he's been picked up by Connor Young as we speak.
Yeah, it's a big matchup for the youngster, Connor Young.
Boundary throw in 70 out from the North Launceston goal. It's picked up by Rainbird. He's tackled. He disposed of the ball illegally. It's a free kick to Ponting.
Jay Foon's got the job on Joe Bowden.
So some great matchups today. Hopefully the crowd will enjoy this one. It's the grand final replay. Going backwards in his side, his defensive 50 goes Ponting. Drops the mark there as Tyron Mansell. He recovers. He has plenty of time. He goes sideways to Foon. It's going intercepted by Pearce. No, Foon does well. Takes the mark on the second grab. He charges off. He's at half back. He goes wide in looking for Richter Solder. And there's no depth in the kick. And the mark is taken there by Gunther.
Gunther down the line looking for the Prince of Glenorchy. Here he is. Joe Bowden, first inside 50. Looks long for Reynolds. He's got his opponent beat. In fact, he spills the mark. Reynolds comes down, snaps Reynolds across the corner. Just misses going towards the city end. So Joe Bowden there, we saw him push up the ground, Brownie. So he's happy to leave the 50.
Terrific intercept mark, wasn't it, from young Gunther, who moved the ball quickly. Nice kick to Bowden, and then Bowden had the presence of mind, a long kick to Reynolds. Thought he could have done a little bit better there, just below his knees, Macca.
Jay Foon kicks to himself, goes the railway wing side of the ground, going to kick long, looking for Alex Lee. The big matchup between him and Duffy. Duffy looks as though he's got the spot at the back, and he takes a terrific mark. Gives the ball off inside 50. Zachy Webster's got the front spot. In fact, he leaves it for Reynolds. Goes once, goes twice, and the big beast, Benny Reynolds, takes the mark 20 metres out directly in front. And already to score involvements, Ben Reynolds.
Yeah, Glenorchy looking threatening, aren't they, Macca? And on the back of the kick out, they're a really good mark from Duffy. They were well set up from the kick out. And then just the kick forward. And as you called it, it looked like at one particular point, Zach Webster was going to mark that ball, but then again, Ben Reynolds, with 2 touches of the footy, was able to bring it down, and now a pretty easy shot, I would have thought, from about 20 metres out.
Ben Reynolds comes in, 20 metres out, directly in front. Nice kick of the footy, Ben Reynolds, but not that great because that one misses near side, so a terrible miss, Ben Reynolds. It's been a real Achilles heel of North Lonnie the last few weeks, Dave. Their key defensive efforts. We saw Mitch Thorpe towel them up, their young defenders. Isolated their young defender. This time it's Connie Young. Mitch Thorpe took Jock White to the cleaners, didn't he?
Yep, he
As
sure
we wait
did.
for the ball to come from over the grandstand. So Mitch Thorpe, Brownie, took the young defender, took him to the cleaners a couple of weeks ago. It looks like Connie Young's going to have his hands full today. So Zach Burt, we've seen Brownie. We've seen them throw him back if they need a bit more strength. So keep a look out for that one.
Yeah, he's certainly going back a few weeks ago, Mac, because we've got a bit of a hold up at the moment. We're waiting for the ball to come back.
Gone into the car park. The boys have run off with it.
Against Hobart City and played down back and got better as the game went on. Then saw him against Clarence, where he played predominantly forward. So he has got that versatility. But as we were mentioning off air, Dave, North Launceston often slow starting over the last couple of weeks, and it seems to have continued early stages in this game.
Jay Foon brings it out this time to grandstand side as Tom Bennett. Jock White's come on the ground. He could go defensive side. We'll wait and see that one. McCulloch gets the ball off the pack, snaps it over. Here's big Sauce Donnelly. Doesn't have a look. Probably had more time. Ball runs through the Glenorchy defenders. Zach Burke gets it. Tackled without the footy. The umpire says play on. Here's Jock White again. Tackle, great tackle there, North Launceston by Tyron Mansell. Ball spills free. Here's the inclusion, Callan Daly. The ball kicked out by Glenorchy. Comes to the back. Richter Solder's going to watch the ball towards the boundary line. In fact, he's pushed in the back there by his Glenorchy opponent. That was Gunther. And the ball is going to be taken by Carlton Wadley deep in defence.
In fact, it's Richter Solder.
Richter Solder
has the free kick. He's right on his defensive 50 as he takes the kick off left foot. Short kick, straight in the arms there of Rainbird. He charges off, kicks inside 50, good interception by McCulloch. Is taken over by Braden Webb, off to Geard on the left foot. John Geard for goal. It's the first one for the Magpies. Good work there from John Geard. And it's 1-2-8 Glenorchy. North Launceston yet to score here at UTAS Stadium.
I'm going to be critical, Brownie. The coach, Tom Couch, thought as though he should have got a free kick there, but he wasn't given it. But he put his hands up and complained to the umpire rather than actually chase the opponent on. So the coach wouldn't like to see his performance there.
No, it was a good finish, though, having said that, from John Geard. And it favoured him, as Dave called, on the left foot. And he slotted through from about 40 metres. So a good reward for Glenorchy, because they've had all the play in the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game and shot out to an early 8-point lead. A disappointing kick there from Richter Solder.
Ball goes up, middle of the ground. Glenorchy with the first score on the board, first goal. Here's Gunther, got the ball, misses misses a far side. That's 1 point to Glenorchy. They move on to 1-3-9. North Launceston yet to go inside 50, Dave Gruber. Yet to go inside 50, North Launceston.
Very quickly, the Mercury Cup score day, 11-6-72. Glenorchy defeated North Launceston 4-12-36.
Bradley Cox-Goodger gets the kick out. He's had a great season again, Cox-Goodger. That pinpoint left boot gives it to Ponting. Defensive wing here for North Launceston. Comes up looking for McCulloch. He's going to get given the free kick. He plays on the big Bambi. Inside 50, he's got Bird on. Also Tommy Bennett. He's a terrific athlete. Bennett, he's on the run. He fumbles that ball though. He probably should have taken it cleanly. Ball comes out. Here's Josh Watts, one of the inclusions over the last few weeks. And he kicks off to Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn down the line. In fact, he's gone out of bounds as he's kicked the ball. So a bit of a mistake there, Brady Quinn, the youngster. He's had a solid season, Brownie. Played a few Mariners games over the last couple of years, Brady Quinn.
Yeah, and look, a lot of those Glenorchy boys, haven't they, Macca, have played a lot of footy together at underage level. So probably if we went through that Glenorchy side, 9 or 10 of them would have been through that underage program.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Rainbird's there. He's one of them as well. And young Webb, he's there also. Here's the big Duff man up against McCulloch. McCulloch palms one down, gives it to Couch. Couch falls over, look for the free kick. They've set upon Tom Couch. I reckon they put a bit of work into Tom Couch this week. They're not going to let him get any free play. He's been terrific for the competition, Brownie, hasn't he, Tom Couch?
Oh, look, at the standout player in the competition for mine this year, Macca.
Ball comes down from the boundary throw in. Comes down to Jake Pearce. He scrubs the kick. Well taken there by Arnold. Gives it across to the other Arnold. The ball comes out far wing. There's Salter. And he hits up his teammate. Help me out, Dave. It's a long way away.
Bank Smith
goes down the line. Ball come down. Here's Reynolds out in front. Still got Connie Young on him. Gives it over to Donnelly. Donnelly comes into Richter Solder. Richter Solder looks for Tom Couch.
And it's a fumble there from Bank Smith. Now it comes out here towards Josh Arnold. He might have been pushed illegally off the ball. Play on, says the umpire. Kick inside 50. Mark not taken there by Bennett. Chance now, though, on the ground at second time. Knocked away there by Jordan Arnold. It's a high tackle, is it now, on a Glenorchy player? Reese Mott. He gets the free kick inside his defensive 50 for a Nedick piece of play there.
He's had a couple of half chances, Tom Bennett, and that was probably an opportunity he should have swallowed there.
Reese Mott in the lime green boots. Kicks beautifully up the wing here, looking for Rainbird. His time one, though. Falls to the back, taken by Connie Young. Kicks off a step, finds Tom Donnelly. Plays on straight away, sweeping handball. On the bounce, it reaches Caelan Baker. Baker now kicks inside 50, looking here for Burt, but it doesn't make the distance. That's intercepted there. In defence, I think it's Josh Watts, the number one there for Glenorchy. Deep in defence for the Magpies. It's 1-3-9 Glenorchy. North Launceston yet to score. Kicks short, and it's marked there by Webster just inside the boundary line. So Zach Webster, back in the TSL this year, he goes short. Not a great kick. All mark should have been taken there. Spills now kicked up by Webb. Up towards half forward. Bowden's there in a contest with Foon. Over the back, it's Taron Thomas. Has he got the pace to get there first? He knocks away from Bowden. Bowden uses a bit of experience. He tries to tap it back there towards Pearce. Eventually it goes over the boundary line. Left half forward. You're listening to 103.7 and 96.5 City Park Radio and via the live stream here at UTAS Stadium. It's the Magpies by 9 points.
It was youth versus experience there, wasn't it? Taron Thomas up against Bowden. Taron Thomas back into the side. He's only played a couple of games for Northern Bombers this year. Great to see him back in the TSL following all his interstate duties. Ball comes over the top, tapped on by Walsh, only as far as Watts. Ball comes back to Rainbird, snapped in over the top of Taron Thomas. In fact, it goes over the top of 2 or 3. Ben Reynolds going to take the ball, could have been pushed in the back. Here's Harry Pearce, he's lively up forward. Great tackle, Taron Thomas holding the ball now against Pearce, and Taron Thomas is going to take the free kick 30 metres out from North Launceston's defensive goal. He comes short to Baker, one of the inclusions into the North Launceston side this year. He's had a pretty good last month of play. He comes inboard as a risky kick, but well taken by Walsh. Right over the far wing, he's got Tom Donnelly on the run. It may not get to him. Yes, in fact, it does. Left-hand handball over the top to his North Launceston teammate in Mansell. Mansell, they're excited by him. Louis Holmer up in front. In fact, he's pushed out his opponent. No, he hasn't. The umpire says it's all good. Much to the defenders' grin. And Lewis Holmer, he's come across to the Bombers with Tom Couch, and Holmer takes the mark 30 metres out on a slight angle.
Inside 50s to this point of the game, Macca 8-4 in the favour of Glenorchy.
Well, that was set up, wasn't it, by a really adventurous kick from Mark Walsh, and we know he's a beautiful kick of the footy, and he just had the presence of mind to have a look long and cross the ball beautifully, which just opened up that side of the ground for North Launceston, and a good mark from Holmer, good use of the body.
Holmer, 30 metres out, slight angle, leans back the big fella. In fact, he's kicked it. Great kick, Louis Holmer. And North Launceston get on the board. They've kicked one straight. Glenorchy 139. It's just ticked over 11 and a half minutes. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7 tonight via the TSL online stream. What else are we, Dave, now? 96.5.
Get around.
Makes things hard for me, Brownie. Gives me another number to remember. 96.5 FM. And thank you to everyone watching also the TSL stream. Simulcast on City Park Radio. And the North Launceston, they needed that goal, Brownie.
Well, they did. And with Whitford out and also Lockhart, it's players like Walsh, Cox, Goodyear, these sorts of names are going to have really big games today for North Launceston. Event's another one.
Secondary ball up in the middle. Hills in the ruck now. And a bit of an advantage today, Glenorchy. Like Hills and Duffy in the ruck. And I think Lee will take just about the majority of the centre bounces today. As it comes down towards Walsh, he's tackled to the ground by Hills. And it'll be a third ball up. The umpire lets it go for a fair while. Hovering. In fact, it's still going.
They all thought it was...
Mark Walsh is there, and then he's penalised for holding the ball. So I think everyone was just waiting on the whistle, as you were saying, Macca.
Well, Hillsy got up, ready to take the ball up, and the game kept on. He's pulled up sore, Mitch Hills as well.
Handball now to Mott, inside the centre circle. Kicks up towards half forward towards Reynolds, who takes the mark at the second grab. Ben Reynolds is a long way out.
Sorry, Dave, they've made a move there. Foon's gone on to Reynolds. He'd be giving away nearly a foot, Brownie.
I'm not sure about that one.
Young White's gone on to Bowden. Whether they just had to swap opponents because of the crossover, we'll keep an eye on that one. But Reynolds a real handful. Look for Zach Burt to go back there, I'd imagine.
So what do you think, Brownie, on the edge of his range here?
I would have thought right on it, Dave. Really impressed already with Jack Watts' game. Not Jack Watts, I should say, Josh Watts' game. He's sitting back a lot of times as a loose player in defence, and he's very assured with the footy, makes good decisions.
Ben Reynolds for goal, fades across to the right. Thomas is there, he'll rise, clears him out of bounds, off hands. Your boundary thrown right adjacent to the behind post.
You mentioned Josh Watts, of course, come back from the Brisbane Lions, Brownie. He's spoken about his trials and tribulations up there, but great to have him back in the Glenorchy colours.
Yeah, him and Josh McGuinness both taken in the same draft with the same club, Macca.
Boundary throw in, high one, Lee to the front. Player held on to there maybe was Jock White. Ball taken to ground, another ball up. We're about 20 metres out from goal.
The umpire did miss one there. Definitely.
It certainly was a shirt ball, Guernsey pull there. As it's a ball up. No one really gets an effective knock away. It's kicked out of congestion quickly there by Couch. Up towards the centre of the ground. Here's McCulloch. Can't pick it up. Second opportunity. Now there's Josh Watts. Gets it forward to Braden Webb. He shrugs a tackle. Gets his arms free to Duffy. Back to Jordan Arnold. Kicks off a step inside 50. Out into the advantage of Gunther. But beating him to the ball there is Jock White. On the far side of the ground now at UTES Stadium. Here's Liam Smith. He stops, he props, he kicks to advantage to Bank Smith. Too high for him. Knocked away by the North defence. Ponting gets it to Foon. He's tackled. Picks it up a second time. Can't get a handle on it. Jay Bowden's in there. He's tackled to the ground. And players dive on the ball. It'll be a ball up about 35 out from goal.
North Launceston have had a couple of opportunities, Brownie, up forward. They've just been a little bit fumbly, haven't they? Glenorchy a lot cleaner.
It's Glenorchy 9, North Launceston 6. Been playing 14, nearly 15 minutes. Reynolds gets it straight to Caelan Baker. Kick out of defence now by the Bombers. Here's Burt, nearly takes a great one-header mark against Dilger. He recovers. Dilger tackles well. Burt shovels it out. Bank Smith's kick is smothered. Chance here to get the ball out from Wadley. Modena pushing the back to the Magpies there. Duffy, ineffectual kick towards the boundary line. Here's a chance of the Bombers. Hayden Goss, late inclusion. Handball, pretty optimistic one to McCulloch. Intercepted by Duffy. He's tackled. And Glenorchy try to bring it away. And a player held on to there. That's Josh Arnold.
The North Launceston faithful are getting restless down here in the RACT stand, Dave. They're not happy. This is Jordan Arnold. He's going to take the ball right in front of the interchange boxes, goes down the line, looking for Reynolds. The big fella flies, but the second grab is over the line. Jock White looks as though he's found his opponent already there in Reynolds, so they've gone back to their original with White coming on the ground. Foon's got Bowden. They've made the swap. Very dangerous Ben Reynolds. The ball's thrown in. Lee comes down to the front. It's going to be sharked by Webb. Ball comes over, gives it to Cox Goodyear. He breaks through one tackle, left foot pinpoint. Cameron Brown like that one, Brownie. Gives it over the top. Here's Bird. He's on the run. He's got his opponent beat in Jordan Arnold. He gives inside to Bennett. That's cleaner. He's got McCulloch on the run. He looks to go left. He looks to go right. Here's McCulloch. There's another fumble, and it's cost them again. And the ball's rushed through for a behind to North Lonnie.
Yeah, Tom Bennett, he just had the footy there, was just waiting on the overlap for Bart McCulloch. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it to sit where he could obviously have a shot at goal. So Glenorchy with just managed to stop a couple of forays forward for North Launceston.
Yeah, Glenorchy defenders doing well. Excellent mark. Tyron Mansell had a couple of good weeks being talked up, even as a potential draftee, Brownie. That kick's not great though, and it's been cut out by the Glenorchy defender.
Well, he's a good match up at the moment, Macca, because he's just picking up Harrison Gunther, who has also attracted a bit of interest in late in AFL circles.
Salter goes down the line. He couldn't find Webb. Webb comes over the top, cut off by Tarrant Thomas. He goes again, Tarrant Thomas. Things are getting a little bit dark. Maybe time to turn the lights on, Rob Gronewegan, if you're listening, because it's getting very dark over on the far wing. Ball's thrown up in front of the railway wing here at UTAS Stadium. Down to Reece Mott. Reece Mott, here's Donnelly, been impressed with him the last couple of weeks. Pushed up the ground, more attacking role on the wing. Gives it over to Baker, who makes a mistake, kicks it in the man on the mark. Ball comes inside 50. Zach Burt in front, and Zach Burt takes the mark 40 metres out, directly in front.
He just read the incoming ball a little bit better. It dropped short, and a good match-up with his state teammate in Josh Arnold, but he just got the better of him there. Oh, he's just going for a short pass.
Gone for a short pass, and it wasn't on. The ball comes down to Cox Goodger. He was looking for Walsh. Here's Cox Goodger on the left foot. Goes bang, and he's kicked it. Didn't matter, because Cox Goodger, he does what he does, and he kicked a goal. In fact, that's his 24th goal for the season. And Cox Goodger, he made the error of Zach Burt look good, and he pierced the ball through. North Launceston hit the front 2-1-13, leading Glenorchy 1-3-9. Just ticked over 18 minutes.
How did he get the space there, Brownie? I don't know how he did that. He just managed to find a way through.
Sometimes it's a left footer, isn't it, Dave? And he just found, as you said, a little pocket of space there. He's a dangerous player because we know he can rack it up in the midfield, but inside 50 or even outside 50, he's capable of kicking multiple goals, and a good response there from North Launceston.
Good contest here at UTAS Stadium as Louis Holmer's in the ruck now. Is Jay Bowden also on the ball. He gets caught, he gets free. He kicks now inside 50. In front is Jock White. He takes the mark. White now clears out of defence. Poor kick straight to Rainbird. Takes the mark. And he's probably within range. So disappointing switch there. It really wasn't on, and it wasn't executed well either. And Rainbird now has a chance to put through the second goal for Glenorchy and get them the lead back in this game. Here's Rainbird. Close to the man on the mark. Delivers, and he puts it straight through the middle. There's Mitch Rainbird, and the Magpies are back in front here at UTAS Stadium. 2-3-15, North Launceston 2-1-13.
He's always been a pretty good kick, Mitch Rainbird, even at underage level. He's got that awkward ball drop at times, Macca, but well called by Dave, because he is a nice shot for goal, and on that occasion went back, just had the composure, but it was a disappointing turnover again from North Launceston. Just a little bit of rush, panic, and need a little bit more composure in the back half.
One thing that really concerns me, boys, is this young defence of North Launceston. They have got, an average age of probably about 20 down there, and they're just making a few mistakes. Joe Bowden's gone in the middle. It's an inside-out barrel. It goes long. Here's Reynolds and Connor Young doing battle. Who's going to first to react? Mitch Hills is there, but it's kicked off the ground by James Webb. So James Webb, he kicked 5 last week?
Kicked 5 last week, Mac, and has been in some really good form for Glenorchy this season. He can run and carry, and when he's added that aspect to his game as a goal kicker, that really has another string to his bow. Well done to Jay Bowden, who's just moved into the middle, 2 centre-bounce clearances, and that's the beauty of him, isn't it? Probably wasn't happening for him in the first 10 or so minutes up forward. So great move from Aaron Cornelius to throw him into the middle of the ground, and it was a deep entry, wasn't it, from the clearance, Dave? And well done to Reynolds to just force the ball down.
Back in the middle.
Let's see what happens this time. Alex Lee palms it down. North Launceston need to get another clearance. This one's caught there in the tackle. Or push in the back, could have been. Umpire says play on. Joe Bowden, left, right, uses the skills that he's got. He went underground handball. Duffy probably didn't need to do so, but he did. Ball comes forward by Quinn. An opportunistic kick and finds the inclusion in Daly. So Daly goes long. Here's Reynolds up against Connie Young. Good battle. Taken in the tackle was Reynolds. Ball comes down looking for Zach Webster. Tried to kick it off the ground. Jock White. A little bit fumbly. High tackle. I reckon that's a free kick. Yes, it is. It's Zachy Webster. He's going to receive the free kick. And once again, Brownie, I take you down to the North Launceston defence. They are all young. Young by age and young by name, Connor Young, but they've got Jock White, Connor Young, Darren Thomas, Richter Solder. The most experienced player down there is Foon, and the rest are all, under 20 years of age.
And that's probably the knock on them, isn't it, Macca, if there is one on North Launceston. So I guess from a structural point of view, and we'll come back to that after this kick.
Zach Webster, 20 metres out directly in front and misses far side. Yes, Brownie?
Yeah, look, I'm just wondering what they do there. I suppose the option you could put is Zach Burt rolling back there. He's a good, strong defender, but also so valuable up forward in a difficult matchup. Holmer might be another one they could go
just a bit of
throw
experience,
there. But,
I think.
We'll see what happens on the bench.
Dave Moore.
Foon plays on from fullback. It's a lot of distance. The kick outside defensive 50. Here's Thomas, his first touch. He releases it. Only as far now as Mott, who's tackled. Does he handball away? No, he doesn't. Play on, says the umpire to advantage. Jake Pearce, handball over to Walsh. He fumbles. Second time he fumbles. He picks it up now. It's too late. Brady Quinn's onto him. He tries to get it out. Here go the Magpies now through Duffy. Kick off a step. Up here towards Jay Bowden against Thomas. Bowden scoops it over his head. Does he keep it in? No, he doesn't. It's out of bounds, about 55 metres around from goal.
I just watched a really good battle over there between Joe Bowden and Taron Thomas, and Bowden wanted to show Thomas who was boss of the TSL. And I think Warney's on the boundary. Adam Child.
Yeah, just Tom Bennett's had a bit of work done on a bit of a corky, but he looks good to go now. He'll be back out there.
Thanks, Warney, for that, as it's a boundary throw-in. It's taken there by Walsh. He can't pick it up. And Ponting, in fact, it was. And it's going to be a ball up. Still about 55 metres out from the Glenorchy goal. And 3-4-22 Glenorchy, North Launceston 2-1-13. You're listening to 96.5 and 103.7 FM, City Park Radio, and you're watching the YouTube, the TSL live stream. Out of defence now. Here come the Bombers. Long kick by Brad Cox-Goodger. Up the wing. Tries to find a teammate and does. Good mark over there by Zach Burt. Out in front of Watts. It's very gloomy here now at UTAS Stadium. No rain as yet. Plays on now, Burt. And it's knocked away by Dilger out of play. Right half forward for the Bombers.
Probably doesn't show it on the scoreboard, Brownie. North Lonnie are staying in the game, but inside 50s, 14-7 Glenorchy's way. So plenty of scoring opportunities, the Pies.
They could rue a couple of those easy misses they've had in this first quarter. Getting close to quarter time, 23.5 minutes. Boundary throw in. Duffy. Lee does well. He sockers it off the ground. Tries to get to the advantage of Ponting. Mott's there. And he sees it over the boundary line. Ponting appeals for deliberate. Umpires having none of it. Boundary throw in.
24-minute mark of the first quarter here. Great battle between the two favourites this year. North Launceston, they sit 11-2. Glenorchy, after a slow start, they're 9-4. Glenorchy have brought their A game so far today, causing a few headaches for the North Launceston defenders. The ball's thrown in a long way. Lee and Duffy do battle. Ball comes down the front. Cox-Goodger's been pretty productive so far. Bowden, another one of those mongrel punts forward, but it does the job. Taron Thomas, he's one out here inside 50 against Pearce. He's taken Pearce, gets the ball 40 metres out from the tackle, dribbling and hits the post right at the base. Taron Thomas, he looks a bit jittery down back, Brownie.
Well, it was a really good defensive pressure from Harry Pearce, and it was a good tackle and a little bit unlucky with the shot on goal to hit the post there, wearing the number made famous by his father, David. What a terrific player he was for Glenorchy in the 80s, and premiership player 3 or 4 times, David.
Showing your age, Cameron Brown, a little bit before my time. Ball comes down the front from the kick in. Zach Webster takes it close to the boundary line. You two have that chat about...
I remember the Dave Thomas, yeah.
3-time premiership player, I think, David Pearce, and kicked
yeah.
multiple goals in each of those grand finals too. He was a star.
Back in the halcyon days of the State League, the first incarnation.
Of course, Fantastic. His boy Harrison Brown, he's coming back from that broken leg. He's had a mixed season, but kicked a lot of goals. Ball comes down the front, gives it to Taron Thomas, comes over, great switch. Over to Baker. Baker, another scrubby kip. Here's Jackie Avent. Good match up with him and Arnold. This is Joshy Arnold. Arnold looks for the push in the back. Brady Quinn, good hands. Over the top, finds his Glenorchy teammate there in James Webb. Kicked a goal, had a good last month of the season, James Webb. Oh, it's a terrible bounce for Zachy Webster, but it's fortunate Zach Webster on the left. He's got his teammate all alone. It's Jay Bowden, and Bowden strolls in and kicks an easy goal. What vision by Zach Webster.
Well, it was. He could have easily blazed away, but just looked up. I think it might have been on his left foot too, but why Jay Bowden had that much space inside forward 50 is beyond me, as Glenorchy kick out to a 16-point lead, Dave. Dangerous signs already here for North Launceston. They need to get their hands on the footy. In particular, they'd like a lift from the coach, Tom Couch, particularly in the centre bounce clearance.
I'll tell you, the unsung hero of that goal was Mitch Hills, who knocked it beautifully in the contest straight to Webster.
Jeez, don't talk him up too much, Mitch Hills. He's one of our faves.
No, he did well there.
He's a great supporter of City Park. It was great to have him on the radio a couple of weeks ago, getting his insight to the North Lonnie Devonport game. So Hills, he's gone deep forward now. Ball comes down. As Brownie said, a 16-point lead to Glenorchy. It goes North Launceston's way, this clearance. Arnold, a little bit fumbly, pushed off the ball by North Launceston. Coming through his couch. Brownie called for him to lift. He's 55 out from goal. He sails over the top. And it goes through for a behind. Tom Couch, there it was, Brownie.
Yeah, look, a good response, and we know, look, not only can he kick goals from the midfield, but he can push forward, and saw him a couple of weeks ago against, I think it was Hobart City, kicked seven. Macca. The majority of those from the midfield is one of the more dominant displays I've seen from a midfield player kicking goals.
In the dying minutes of this first quarter here at UTAS Stadium, from the kick out, Mark not taken there by Couch, he tries to get it a second time. Here's Braden Webb, handball to the advantage there of Josh Arnold. He's in a heavy contest with Wadley. Towards the boundary line, Banks Smith takes it. Here's a chance now for the Bombers. Picking it up is Brad Cox. Good job. We know what he's like from this distance. And this angle gets towards goal. Well read though by Connor Salter. Didn't quite make the distance. We haven't talked about the breeze yet, boys.
I was going to say, is there a little breeze there, Dave?
It did seem to hold up.
Did
that
hold up
particular
there.
Kick, didn't it, from Cox Goodyear?
It's a northwesterly weather pattern, so it's definitely favouring the town end. Here's a chance now for Couch. Long kick inside 50. Bart McCulloch's at the back, but at the front it's well done by Arnold. Taken though by Burt. Snaps off the left. That's offline at one behind to North Launceston. They go to 2-3-15, Glenorchy 4-5-29. 28 minutes just about elapsed here in this first quarter. Connor Salter with the ball. Listen to 103.7 FM City Park Radio. Later in the day we'll have around the ground scores. Interesting round in the TSL. Long penetrating kick there by Salter. To the front now. Chance there for Mott. He handballs to himself. He gets it back a second time. Webb gets it over here towards Banks Smith if he can pick it up. He does now. He's tackled from behind. Great tackle by Ponting. Play on, says the umpire. He got the handball away. Thomas to Goss to Cox Goodyear. Now a kick across the ground here towards Baker. He's got about 20 metres space in front of him. He kicks short here looking for Burt. It's a tough contest and he takes the mark well against Jordan Arnold.
I think that's what North Launceston need to do, Brownie. Keep switching that ball. If they can be still doing that in the last quarter and they're within rain, then I think Glenorchy are going to have the legs to stay with North Launceston. And as we say that, the quarter time siren goes. 2.5 minutes a quarter. And it's
Launceston were fourth, 11-6-72 to North Launceston 4-12-36. Score here at quarter time in the senior game, Glenorchy 4-5-29, North Launceston 2-3-15. And those watching the stream, we're aware there's a few issues at the moment, but we're working on those and hope to have them rectified as soon as possible. Mackie, you've got the team stats.
Yeah, I have. And Brownie, to be honest, I think North Launceston will take where they're at. I think if you look at some of these stats, inside 50, 17-10, shots on goal, 10-5. I think North Lonnie, being 14 points down, I think they'd probably take it.
Yeah, they need a response, don't they? Particularly early on in the second quarter, just to probably put that Glenorchy defence under a little bit of pressure. And both teams, their form's been really interesting, hasn't it, Mackie, coming into this game? And we saw Glenorchy have a bad patch there. We're unaccustomed to them losing consecutive matches of football, particularly at home, but their last 5 weeks has been terrific, in particular on the back of a great win against Clarence, where North Launceston have lost a few games.
And look,
you and Dave saw them here against Lauderdale a few weeks back.
And last week against Burnie, Burnie really pushed them, and the word from the coast is they were pretty unlucky to lose Burnie.
Yeah, and look, they dropped another one to Clarence down at Bell Reef. So look, the premierships aren't won in July, but look, I'm really interested to see what the response will be here from North Launceston. Both coaches at the moment speaking to their charges, and look, I think a key feature of this game too today, Dave and Macca, is just how many state players we've got out there running around. So we've really got the top echelon of players in this competition, and what's also been a byproduct of that is seeing some of these players up against each other. So really enjoying Burt being played on Arnold. We've mentioned a couple of the young Mariners boys that have spent some time on each other as well. So that'll be a real key feature, and love to see the best players up against each other.
How do you see the midfield, boys? Because the clearances are fairly even, but the quality of clearances, I mean, we saw Jay Bowden get those 2 clearances in that quarter, which really burst the game open in the middle part of that first quarter.
Yeah, and look, they're great kicks of the footy, the Glenorchy midfield, and in particular Reece Mott is that beautiful left foot kick. We know Webster probably hurts you more with his speed, but Liam Smith is a little bit like what Mark Walsh is for North Launceston, both beautiful kicks of the footy. Braden Webb is a long penetrating kick, so that'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. But having said that, I think North Launceston do need a bit of a lift in that midfield, Macca.
Well, the bookmakers couldn't split them, Brownie. They were $1.90 each of 2 going in, bet responsibly, of course, but there wasn't much in them. And Adam Child's down on the boundary. I think he's been to the huddles. What did you hear, Warnie?
Yeah, I've just been with the North Launceston huddle, and Tom Couch went into the room. So actually, Taylor Whitwood took over chatting to the lads when they were brought together after being in their positions. And I guess his message was not to panic. I think they're moving the ball pretty well when they need to, but I think they might be making a few rash decisions. So just holding it up and playing the game on their terms is what they're all about. Did see Alex Lee has had a fair bit of blood coming out of his nose, so we'll see what that's looking like. But that's where we're at the moment. And I've got my apprentice Jack here, who's just been with the Glenorchy boys.
Aaron Cornelius wanted his team to be much smarter with the use of their ball, be a bit more intense, and put a lot more pressure on North Launceston. He wasn't happy with the pressure, but not a bad start from Glenorchy in the first quarter.
It's dropped a couple more degrees. There's a bit of breeze, got up a little bit in that quarter, but it's sort of died down a little bit at the start of the second here.
No worries, Warnie. Thanks for that, and we'll be back with you during the second quarter.
Just like this from North Launceston too, Dave, as we start the second quarter, they push Cox Goodyear to full forward in another good matchup with Josh Arnold, so it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out.
You might rob Peter to pay Paul, though, because he's been pretty good around those clearances. McCulloch's had to go into the ruck, and we heard Lee's got a little bit of a blood issue. It's strange that Tom Couch goes into the rooms at quarter time. Did the same thing against Devonport as well. But he's back out there, Couch. He gets this ball, but all he can do is give it to Webster. He gives it over to Rainbird, who snaps it in. Looks for Pearce. He's on Taron Thomas. He takes the ball. Thomas, he's tackled by one arm. Gets his kick away, goes straight towards the boundary line now as he's tackled. The umpire had the chance to call deliberate, but that would have been harsh on the youngster.
Is one of the problems with Taron's development at the moment the inability to break tackles as he starts to grow and get a bit stronger?
Well, he's got that really good first 2 or 3 metre speed, and that's probably what he has to do, is really put the burners down. But he's on a boy Pearce, and he's got exactly the same speed, Brownie, hasn't he?
Well, he has. He's probably the quickest player in the program, Pearce. He's electric over 20 metres.
So the ball is thrown in over near the scoreboard, and the umpire is going to pay a free kick against North Launceston. This time it's going to go to Rainbird.
Worked pretty hard too in the first quarter.
He has, Mitch Rainbird. He went away, didn't he, for a little while, and came back to this Glenorchy side. The ball's punched away by McCulloch. McCulloch gives it down, tackling by Glenorchy, and it's going to be balled up in the right forward pocket for the Glenorchy Magpies.
We mentioned some of the matchups too, and really enjoying at the moment Harrison Gunther up against Tyron Mansell. So that'll be a really good matchup for the latter part of this game, I would have
The
thought.
ball's thrown up. Duffy wins front position. In fact, it was illegally won because McCulloch's going to have the free kick. He looks to cross the ball. The umpire calls him to play on. He's now trapped in the pocket. McCulloch, he sells a bit of candy to Duffy. Goes over the top looking for Richter Solder. He's kicked it out. Brownie shakes his head because Bart McCulloch got himself in a terrible muddle there, and the ball's gone out of bounds in front of the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's where you'd love to have a Jay Lockhart running behind the back for a handball for a bit of run and carry, wouldn't you?
He's out for a few more weeks, Lockhart. He mightn't come back till nearly finals time, Brownie.
Boundary throw in about 70 metres out from the Glenorchy goal. It's Duffy. McCulloch's got front position. Comes to the front. Webb gets it to Jay Bowden. Could be his second goal for the day. Jay Bowden for goal. As it bounced through. No, it's just touched on the line there by Taron Thomas. Good work there by the young man. One behind two. Glenorchy 4-6-30.
Concern out of the stoppages for mine too, Dave.
Sorry,
Glenorchy winning now.
Yep, just a short kick there to Donnelly. Sorry, keep going, Brownie.
Yeah, just worried a little bit. They're outworking them in some of those contested ball situations from the stoppages, Glenorchy.
Short to Caelan Baker. Still deep inside the back pocket for North Launceston. Short kick finds Wadley. He plays on. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. Goes back and sums up his options. Now he goes wide. Here looking for Tom Bennett. Up against Watts. Well done, Bennett. Good strong mark in front. Got front position. Didn't surrender it.
It's 50. He
It's
hasn't
50.
come back.
Yep, Josh Watts went over the mark.
The umpire was trying to call him back. Watts seemed to be in another land, a bit worried about maybe an injury, and didn't come back. I was about to call it myself, but the umpire got there first, Dave.
So Tommy Bennett. Now let's see where the umpire stops. He stops about 60 out from goal.
Poor body language by Josh Watts too. He still hasn't gone on the mark, and he's just labouring behind.
Bennett has Caelan Baker. Oh, he's indecisive, and he loses the opportunity to get the ball. Darting off defence now is Brady Quinn. Kicks up the wing. Nice kick there towards Watts. Good contest this time with Couch. Watts and Couch on the ground, joined by Event. Should be a ball up. No, it's going to be holding the ball. That's against Josh Watts. Not having a good couple of minutes here, the boy from Glenorchy. Recruited by Brisbane. Back now in the TSL. That's a free kick now to Couch. And a good little period here for North Launceston. Can they make something of it? Couch gesticulating as he kicks now up towards half forward. It's wide towards Holmer. He's in a wrestle. Connor Solder can't quite take the mark. Well done, Reece Mott. He's got the advantage now. He takes the ball close to the boundary line. He has some space. So he kicks up the line and pushing the back. Pretty obvious one there to Tom Couch against Harrison Gunther. It'll be free kick to Tom Couch. It's Glenorchy 30, North Launceston 15. Here's Matthew McGee.
Tom Couch gets the resulting free kick just in front of the RACT stand here. UTAS Stadium. 4-6-30 Glenorchy lead North Launceston 2-3-15. Avent goes deep to the pocket, looking for Bennett. Terrific mark up against two experienced types there.
It was a
What a mark between Walsh and Reynolds. And Tom Bennett, he's a terrific sportsman, Bennett. He works hard. He's got a great tank.
Josh Watts is not quite right once again there. He's
copped a couple, both from Bennett, in fact. So Tom Bennett, he's right on the 50-metre, tucked away in the pocket. Hits it to the top of the square. Holmer flies, and it's gone over the top and through for a behind. North Launceston 2-4-16. Glenorchy 4-6-30. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7 or 96.5. Also on the TSL live stream. Jay Bowden taking the resulting kick out. He goes left, goes right. Too smart for Holmer. Goes over the railway wing looking for Duffy. It's been a pretty neutral battle between Duffy and Lee at this stage. And the ball goes out of bounds, but Glenorchy have managed to clear the space. It's about 80 metres out from goal, right on centre wing. Ball's going to be thrown in. Once again, still getting pretty dark here.
Nothing much on the radar, Macca. I think we're right rain-wise.
Good for the game, Dave. You're the weather expert. We'll trust your instinct. Ball comes down the front. McCulloch up against Duffy. McCulloch gets the zone work. Comes out the front, going through Dilger. Went through with the hands, kicked off the ground. You heard it from Brownie. Zachy Webster's causing a few headaches with his speed, but this time he's caught by Wadley. Ball comes over to Avent. Avent looks for Foon, but only goes as far as Pigeon Webb. Webb gets the hands, goes back to Dilger. Here's Mott on the left. He looks left, looks right, goes to a 1-on-2. Webster over the top and flies. Can't quite take the mark. Ball close to the boundary line. Gunther will see it over in front of the scoreboard. And Glenorchy, things have just stagnated here a bit, Brownie, which is probably good for North Launceston, but they need some scoreboard pressure.
They do, and I think it's a lot of their 25, 30-metre kicks today, North Launceston, that just haven't been able to hit the target, particularly when they look like they're going to get into some adventurous scoring opportunities, and unfortunately they haven't been able to hit the targets.
High boundary throw in, knocked to the back by Duffy, kicked off the ground by Braden Webb. It's now inside 50 for Glenorchy. Chance here, Pearce. Was he caught without it? He lost possession. Tempted to pick up there from James Webb. Ponting's on top of the ball now. He gets it out nicely to Event. Event by hand, close to the boundary line, out of bounds. There's only one behind each this quarter. We've gone about 6.5 minutes. You're listening to 103.7 and 96.5 City Park Radio and the TSL live stream. 1 versus 3 in the TSL. And North Launceston desperate to try and consolidate their spot on top of the ladder leading in towards the finals. High boundary throw in on the far side. McCulloch brings it to the front, only as far as Braden Webb gets it to Rainbird. He's tackled hard there by Walsh. He's not releasing it. The umpire says he's not able to. It'll be a ball up. So just a bit of a negative passage of play at the moment, Brownie.
Yeah, Macca, you mentioned before about Harry Pearce, and he was really flying at the beginning of last year as a midfielder, and he's really been pigeonholed, hasn't he, as that small forward at the moment. It's not an easy role for him to play. I'd love to see him get up the ground, maybe use his speed and athleticism. Webster
off the ground. Luck's a fortune, is it? No, it's forced to Donnelly. He's tackled over the boundary line, and we're now about 30 out from Glenorchy's goal.
Mind you, he's doing it well, Brownie. That tackle there, you know, he's got that closing speed as a small forward. It's a really important role in the AFL now, isn't it, with these small defensive forwards. It's a sign of the times, defensive pressure from the forward line. A lot of AFL clubs have got those small forwards now, and one of the key aspects is the tackle. Ball comes down the front. Here's Hayden Goss, the inclusion for the laid out of Whitford. Probably was never going to play Whitford. He's still a couple of weeks away, but yet they named him, and we weren't very confident he was going to play. And the ball's out of bounds on the full in front of the scoreboard.
Needed the left foot there, Goss, didn't he? And swung around, unfortunately out of bounds. Gives Reece Mott a chance to launch one inside 50, but North Launceston have got numbers back into space. We can see here Mark Walsh, Cox Goodyear, also Bennett, all inside that 50, hoping to block off any leads coming in from Glenorchy.
We must be a football or so short today, because we've had a couple of interruptions due to lost balls. Need a couple more peels behind the goals.
Just got a text from Warnie on the boundary. The request has gone out for lights to be turned on.
Well done.
So I'm not sure who the request has gone out from, but
from us.
From us. Okay.
We're the key broadcaster, Dave, and we run the show. Ball comes in. Reece Mott, terrific kicker of the ball. Reece Mott looks up for Gunther. He does a forward roll as he comes down. The ball's taken by Mark Walsh. He's taken in the tackle, and the umpire says, "Give it to me." He'll ball it up 40 metres out, directly in front of the Glenorchy goal, who lead by 14 points. Hasn't been a goal scored in this second quarter. It's been a real stalemate. Hills is going to go up against Holmer, the secondary ruckman. Holmer gets it down right mid, down to Reece Mott. Tries to go left, can't do so. Cox Goodyear gets it going forward for North Launceston. And we've got Adam Warnie Child on the boundary. Warnie.
Yeah, we're almost 10 minutes into this second quarter, and Alex Lee's still on the bench, although he's just whipped the jacket off then. He's got a couple of cotton balls up his nose, so yeah, he looks as though he's about to come back on.
Thanks, Warnie. The ball continues on here for North Launceston, taken by Connor Young. Had his hands full early by Ben Reynolds. Oh, it's one of those gutsy kicks again into the middle. Big Sauce Donnelly. He has come back from that Mariners program as well, Brownie, and doing a pretty good job playing an attacking role. They've made a mistake here, though. Tyron Mansell can't find Rick DeSolder. Ball turned over. The Prince of Glenorchy, Jay Bowden, gives it back to Mott. Jay Bowden through. Oh, terrific eyes again. Over the top of Gunther. Couldn't take it. Here's Pearce. He breaks through the tackle. Looks close from 30 metres out. Harrison Pearce, we've spoken about him today. That quick, low centre of gravity. And it was a good effort from the Glenorchy forwards who caused the turnover. Harrison Pearce breaks the 50, kicks the goal. And the score now, Glenorchy 5-6-36. Lead North Launceston 2-4-16. That's the first goal of the second quarter. Dave Moore.
It certainly was. And look, it's been an arm wrestle, hasn't it, Brownie? And that's the goal I don't think North Launceston wanted to concede, that first one of this second quarter.
No, as you say, first one of the quarter, and they'd worked pretty hard. And but Glenorchy, again, it was Jay Bowden, could have blazed away, but Gunther couldn't take the mark, and Pearce in a great spot there as a defensive forward and kicked the goal.
Back in the middle, here's Bennett. Takes it, wrestled to the ground. He might have dropped it there. His umpire says play on. Another player tackled to the ground. Umpire eventually It's going to give a secondary ball up. It was Tom Couch that second time.
Just
The
wonder whether
Seagulls
it
are
is,
gathering.
Sorry, Dave. Just wonder it is worth Tom Couch just pushing forward inside 50. We know he's so very dangerous up there, and more often than not can kick some goals. They're probably looking for a spark at the moment, North Launceston, and maybe that's a matchup that
They've got
they
no
could
inside
exploit.
50s though, Brownie. No inside 50s, North Lonnie. How many this quarter, Dave Gruber, North Lonnie? How many inside 50s? 3. So there's no use moving all those players forward if you're not going to get it in there.
Kalen Baker's got it now, gets it to Mansell. He's under pressure. Good handball over the top to Couch. Here's a good passage of play from the Bombers. It's with a vent. He kicks towards 50 to McCulloch, who takes the mark. Probably too far out to score, Bart McCulloch. He looks inside. Will he go long to Homer or will he go short? He'll go short. And he finds a teammate there in Couch, who plays on. Kicks to the square. Louis Homer's one out. Can he take the mark? Gets the hands to it. Can't complete it. Here's Donnelly against the boundary line. Back to Homer. Snap round the corner from Homer. But he doesn't get full purchase on it. Glenorchy should clear here. Handball over the top now. Ends up with Geared. He's under pressure. Does get it to Dilger. Here they go now from defence, Glenorchy. Brady Quinn charges away. It's not a great kick though. It's out of bounds on the full centre wing. 5-6-36 Glenorchy, North 2-4-16.
North Lonnie can't get those deep entries and take marks, Brownie, can they? All their marks have been right on 50 or outside. The ball's turned over once again here, but it's well followed up by North Launceston. Carlton Wadley gives it over to Baker, who sees the ball out of bounds in front of Callan Daly.
They're having trouble getting any flow going, aren't
Yeah.
they, at the Bombers? They're stringing possessions together.
Well, you know, McCulloch takes that mark, Cowes takes that mark, but they're 55-60 out, and we saw Burt the same. Just can't get any deep marks. Glenorchy getting numbers back. Ball thrown in here on centre wing. Lee back on the ground. Excellent tap. He had a player on Cox Goodger. Here's a deeper entry inside 50. Another fumble though. McCulloch. He finds Tom Couch. Gives it back to Foon. Foon goes up and under. The mark will be paid. Louis Holmes under the ball. McCulloch goes back. He flies the big fella. Taken by Arnold. He's well tackled. McCulloch. Good forward line pressure, the Bombers. And the ball's going to be balled up 20 metres out on a slight angle out in front of the North Launceston goal.
This is where the North Launceston players need to be on the move at this stoppage. So they need a hit-out advantage as Homer is about to go up for the ruck. But look for Couch, Cox Goodyear, these sorts of players to be around the footy.
Homer and Hills nullify each other. Harrison could have been caught high. There he was. Callum Harrison, he'll emerge from this pack and he will shoot for goal from only about 15-20 metres out, 45-degree angle. Callum Harrison kicked a goal a couple of weeks ago we saw against Devonport. Handy young player. And was first in for the ball there and got the high contact. And this is a vital goal here if it's converted for North Launceston. Here's Callum Harrison for goal. He snuck it in. Callum Harrison, it's the third goal for the afternoon for North Launceston. 3-4-22, trailing Glenorchy 5-6-36.
Well, it's a badly needed goal for them. I think it might have been their first goal since Cox Goodyear halfway through the first quarter, Dave. And just came from an errant tackle in the end. But that's what they need to do to just get back into this contest. Just some hard work, force a stoppage, try and scrounge a couple of goals. And just as we said too, Mackie, you can see Tom Couch now. He's going deep forward and hopefully to try and exploit a matchup and get a bit of a run on here. But he won't have it easy on Arnold, who's a prime defender for the Magpies.
Just quickly, it was 1 versus 2 today in the Mercury Cup at Windsor Park, and Launceston have won 10-16-76. The Tigers 6-6-42. Macca.
And their senior sides will do battle. We'll bring you all the scores from there. The Lauderdale Oval, and also between Lauderdale and Devonport, and also down at North Hobart between the Hobart City Demons and Clarence. You'd think all the favourites will win those games, but we have seen upsets before. Hobart City, of course, need a win to keep their finals hopes alive. Could have been a push in the back. The umpire says play on. He's now circling, but it's going to be a secondary ball up.
I want just to get warning to keep an eye on Alex Lee too. He still looks like he's hobbling for me and nursing some sort of injury on his leg.
Well, here it is. It's Hills and Lee. Lee gets the hit out, goes down to Cox Goodger. He's under immense pressure though. He scrubs a kick forward. Here's Baker. Gives it over the top to Ponting, the live wire. He breaks through. He's going to scrub one for the ball's bouncing towards goal. Don't tell me, Ponting. He kicks the goal from outside 50, a forward punt, and it just rolled and rolled and rolled. And Ponting gets the goal. Another one that North Lonnie needed, Cameron Brown.
Yeah, they just scrounged another one out, and it was a terrific contest and a great attack on the footy by Ponting there. He really won a hard 50-50, and as we said, just snapped one around the corner, and that oval ball shape just got it on end and rolled into a a vacant goal scorer and onto a goal. So they kicked the last two North Launceston, and all of a sudden, halfway through the quarter, Dave, we're back to an 8-point ball game.
Yeah, they're certainly right back in at the Bombers. Back in the middle, it's Lee against Mitch Hills. Hills wins this one comfortably. Gets it towards Walsh, though, of the opposition. He can't pick it up. On the ground, players battling for the ball. Eventually, high tackle there on Brad Cox-Goodger. He wheels and goes. He's a long kick. He's a penetrating kick. It goes inside 50. It's a one out here. It's Bennett. In fact, it's McCulloch against Reynolds. Is that down back now?
Gone back.
He's gone back. It's out of bounds. Outside the behind post. That's the versatility of the Pies, isn't it? They've got players that can play forward and back.
Maybe it was a bit of that breeze. They think, it's easier to go the city end of the ground, and they've just thrown Reynolds back behind the ball to match up on McCulloch, who has been dangerous, but he just can't get his hands fully wrapped around the footy.
Tackling pressure was good earlier in the quarter there from McCulloch in the forward line as well. He nudges his opponent out of the way. Mitch Hills snaps for goal as McCulloch bounces just inside the boundary line, and before Dilger can take advantage, it's out of bounds right next to the behind post.
Bradley Cox-Goodger keeping the Bombers in it. Browning's been pretty good.
He just with his run and carry, Macro, hasn't he? He's such a penetrating kick of the football.
Boundary throw in. Dangerous position here for the Bombers if they can convert. Down by Duffy. A lot of players diving on the ball. It'll be a ball up about 20 metres out directly in front of the Bombers' goal.
There's a bit going on off the footy too. Like Couch is not getting a real good run at the footy. Keep an eye on that one.
Duffy and McCulloch. A bit of pinball here as it's bouncing along a lot of players' hands. There'll be another ball up, I suspect. It is.
Can't see Josh Watts out there at the moment, boys, so not sure whether he's copped a knock of some description. We might check with Warney down there on the bench.
Doesn't look like he's on the bench either, yes.
So maybe
gone through to the rooms.
McCulloch again tries to take it out of the ruck, but it's sharked here nicely. Taken away by Brady Quinn, who's had a good game. Touches the ball on the ground on defensive 50 now. Long up towards half forward. In front there, Jock White can't quite complete the mark. Mopped up there by Richter Solder. He kicks it nicely up along the wing there towards Foon, I think it is. It beats him over the boundary line.
That's where Brady Quinn, Brown, he took off, but he actually had a 1-on-5. Gunther was against 5 Northern Bombers. He probably just didn't need to kick the footy. He needed to stop, come back and switch the play because, it was Gunther was up against 5 or 6
good call.
players.
North Launceston certainly well set up for that particular kick, weren't
But, he took off. It was great play, but probably the wrong thing to do at the time with the setup behind the footy of the Bombers. The ball's thrown in. Rainbird. Ball cut off. In fact, there might even be a light drizzle happening at the moment, Dave. We'll get you to keep an eye on that one. Here's Taron Thomas. Switches the play. Beautiful kick. Here's Baker. Caleb Baker goes short and over the top to a running Avent. So Jackie Avent normally gets a tagging roll. Looks to be a little bit loose today. Doesn't have to tag. He's got Donnelly inside. He's going to come back. Going to find Richter Solder in the centre circle. So Richter Solder will use the left foot. Here's Thomas. He started this, Thomas, and he's found his way forward. 60 metres out from goal. Running on the outside is Mansell. Tyron Mansell looks forward. Here's McCulloch. He goes up the big Jukes. And Big Bart, that's what I called for. He needs to clunk him. That was a deeper entry, and he takes the mark right on the tip of the square.
Last 5 inside 50s to North Launceston.
Yeah, they're right on top, and I think that would be one of the few times they've actually taken a mark inside 50. Holmers sort of works hard in terms of a bullocking forward, tries to bring it to ground, but you called it, Macca. That was the one that McCulloch needed to take, and he shouldn't miss from here. 2
really important touches by Taron Thomas. McCulloch, he comes forward and he kicks the ball straight through the centre. That's the 3rd goal in a row to the North Launceston Bombers, and McCulloch has his first for the day. And they're only 2 points behind. 20-minute mark of the second quarter. North Launceston 5-4-34, trailing Glenorchy 5-6-36. They've only got 1 for the quarter. 20-minute mark. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5, and also simulcast on the TSL live stream.
Confirmation from Warney that Josh Watts is down in the room, so there's obviously something seriously wrong there. Back in the middle. It's 5-6-36, Glenorchy 5-4-34, North Launceston. Oh, Cox-Goodger nearly got another clearance. He taps it intelligently to Ponting. He's tackled, releases to Thomas. Thomas up towards attacking 50. The drizzle continues to fall. Knocked away well by Dilger. A chance here for the Pies. They've got a few players around the ball. And taken there by James Webb. He's tackled strongly by North Launceston. Couch can't pick up the ball. He might have copped one high. He's holding his head. It'll be a ball up now about 55 out from North Launceston's goal.
They've really lifted their pressure, the Bombers.
Expect Jay Bowden here to just roll back behind the footy and probably win a bit of the possessions for Glenorchy.
Reynolds has gone forward too, Brownie.
Here's Bowden, right on cue. Handball out now. Chance for James Webb. Kicks up the line. Looking and finding nearly Rainbird. He flew high, couldn't take the mark. Fumble by Jock White. On the ground now. And White does well in the follow-up to cause a stoppage. Just been a little bit unsure with the hands today, Jock White, hasn't he, Macca?
Yeah, look, it's that youngster, isn't it, deep? He's on a great player in Reynolds as White comes off and Connie Young's going to go back on, straight on to Ben Reynolds.
Kalen Baker back on the ground also for the Northern Bombers. And good work there by Duffy, but he only gets as far as Ponting. Ponting to event, intelligent tap out there towards Thomas. Spends too long on it though. He gets the kick smothered. Chance now for the Glenorchy Magpies. Handball comes out to James Webb. Quickly now to Mott. He tries to get around an opponent. He's tackled strongly by the Bombers. Oh, he got it too high.
Yeah, he's lucky because he's only got a left side, Reece Mott. And he tried to go right. It was shut out there and he come back to go on the left and he was crunched. But in fact, the first one was a little bit high.
Former Devonport boy Reece Mott in the lime green boots. Invited now to play on. Goes close to the boundary line. Chance here for Webster. Well done there by Donnelly. Impressive young player. Knocks it out of bounds.
Well, that's a kick you want if you're North Launceston in that occasion. Just deep to the half-forward flank. Makes it easier to defend and they'll get a stoppage and restart.
City Park Radio 103.7 and 96.5 and via the TSL live stream. It's a classic encounter here at UTAS Stadium. Only 2 points of difference.
Mitch Hills playing at full back on Bart McCulloch. Keep your eye on that one. He loves the full back position, Big Hillsy.
As Pearce now kicks it forward. Here does Hills now. He almost took it on the chest. Sorry, it's Reynolds. Reynolds up against his opponent there in Burt. Reynolds is tackled. He does get it away. Ball says the crowd. Close to the boundary line. Camerick takes it out. Boundary throw in 10 metres around from Glenorchy's goal.
Well, that match-up actually happened early on in the season and McCulloch really got hold of Hills down at KG5. So he'll be looking to obviously turn the tables on that particular match-up, Macca.
They're good mates too, those two. The old Storm days. Boundary throw in, bounces in space. Here's Kalen Baker over the top. Under pressure now will be Goss. He does well around the corner, but only finds Jay Bowden. There's 2 kicks out from goal. Gets a bit of attention there on the mark from Burt. Gets to his feet now, Jay Bowden. Back in the side today. Now he plays on. He's going to go long up here looking for Reynolds, who's going to fly from the back. Good work by the North defence. It's a contest now, about 20 players around the ball. Players try to get it out, but they can't. Ball up.
Definitely a breeze there, Brownie. That kick held up again. Couldn't get to the top of the square.
1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, I reckon. 1 or 2 goals. So it's what was another impressive quarter by North Launceston. Maybe a little bit harsh on them early. The Bombers, they repel this attack. Comes down the front to Couch. Quick hands. Can't find his teammate though. Barrelling in is Jackie Avent. Up against Banks Smith. And the ball's going to be balled up 40 metres out directly in front.
Young Harrison Gunther, Macca, really struggling to get into the game today. We know he relies on his athleticism. He normally hits up at the ball carrier, but he's been pretty well held by Mansell today.
They get the numbers back behind the foot. He hasn't got much space to lead into. He's well tackled here. Is
Hayden Goss.
Hayden Goss. I'm going to call him Harrison, but it's Hayden Goss. He was well tackled. Lucky to get away with it. They've advanced about 10 metres, still directly in front. Dangerous position for Glenorchy. The ball comes down. It's scrubbing its way forward, a bit like a rugby maul. The umpire's found a free kick. That'll open play up. And going to go to Caleb Harrison.
Well, they're going to have to run it up here. Glenorchy got numbers back. Arnold and Dilger both behind the footy.
Harrison gives it to Foon. It's a short scrubbing kick. They go through the middle of the ground though. Bennett to Walsh. Walsh on the left. He's got Louis Holmer. 2-on-1. Holmer, he's got the spot. 1-2, but it's taken by Jay Bolton. He's there to save the day, Big Jay. And the ball comes out looking for Banks Smith, but they got the numbers, the Bombers. It's taken away by Arnold. He hits the ball hard, does Joshy Arnold. And the ball goes out of bounds directly opposite us on the railway side of the ground. And it's Glenorchy by 2 points.
Gee, Louis Homer did well there. He nearly got the body position and got to the drop of the ball and just couldn't quite hold on.
Often does, Dave, doesn't he? Gets his hands on the footy on numerous occasions. He'd love to be able to take those marks for his team.
Boundary thrown on the railway wing. Duffy and Lee. Lee towards Thomas, who's starting to come into the game. Now we've got a free kick off the ball here. That's going to go the way of the Bombers to Mark Walsh. The boy from Hillwood. Spent a year away from the TSL playing there with the Sharks, and he's back now in TSL footy. High kick towards attacking 50. Players fly high to the front. Here's Taron Thomas. Bit of magic, is it? No. Good work there by, I think that was Reece Mott. He gets the ball back again now to James Webb. Over now towards Jay Bowden. He goes short looking for Webster, who takes a mark under pressure. And he'll relieve here. He'll hold things up and they'll reset again here from just the defensive side of the centre.
Great call, Dave, wasn't it? It was a brilliant smother from Reece Mott, which stopped what looked like was going to be a dangerous forward entry from Thomas.
Aidan Goss gets the front position, falls to the front now. Here's a chance for James Webb. He tries to evade a tackle of Foon. There's no doing that. Jay Foon, he does, in fact, but it's too late, says the umpire. He did wriggle free, but held on the ball too long. Jay Foon takes the relieving free kick, gets it to Richter Solder.
Richter Solder through the middle of the ground. They're going to take the play on, but they've got no one in front of the footy. North Launceston goes out in front of the Glenorchy player there in Solder. Solder, he tries to take it, but he fumbles. Hilsey's there as well for Glenorchy. The umpire says play on. It's got to be holding the footy then. But the umpire says I'll ball it up.
Quite game so far, Macca, from Liam Smith. He's one Glenorchy player who has certainly got a bit of upside in this game. Hasn't had his hands on the footy a great
Another
deal.
one of those Tassie Mariner boys in this Glenorchy lineup. Ball comes down, Ponting. Reece Mott had a pretty big quarter, Reece Mott. He's taken though, and the umpire says you've had too long, Reece Mott. That's going to be a free kick, and it's going to go to Mark Walsh. One of the silky movers of the North Lonnie side. Good on both sides of his body. Looked him to hit someone up here. He goes forward. He's only got Wadley to kick to, and the ball goes out of bounds in the left forward pocket.
Not an easy day for forwards, Dave, with both teams defensively set up pretty well behind the footy. So often got numbers back, guarding space, and in particular those pockets of spaces which forwards like to run into.
40 metres out from goal, boundary throw in, ball comes down, gives it to Rainbird, taps it on. Cox Goodger been quiet the last couple of minutes, and maybe put a little tag on Cox Goodger, I think.
You're right there, Brown. Every time there's a deep kick inside 50, it's sort of 1 against 3. We saw Louis Holmer before Zach Burt there. So they can't, probably have to go short and sort of slowly build.
Second boundary throw in. Glenorchy by 2 points here at UTAS. And that's what the score's going to be at half time. Glenorchy 5-6-36, leading the Northern Bombers 5-4-34. Goal kickers for Glenorchy, singles to Webster, Zach Webster, James Webb, Harrison Pearce got one in the quarter, John Geard and Mitch Rainbird. And for North Launceston, also all single goal kickers, Cox Goodger, Holmer, and in the second quarter, Ponting, McCulloch and Harrison put one on the board for the Northern Bombers. So an entertaining game. It's close. It lived up to that. The bookmakers couldn't split them. The ladder shows that they're second and third, and there's not
first
much.
And third.
First and third, sorry. Not much in it, with Clarence there as well. So it's going to be an excellent second half, and we'll see how things go, Dave.
Before we get some messages from City Park Radio, Brownie, just some thoughts on that first half.
Look, it's a really classic arm wrestle, isn't it, Dave? And I'm just watching here as Braden Webb goes up. Looks like he's limping. Also, Josh Watt. So that might be the story coming out of this game.
He's hardly been sighted, Braden Webb.
No, with a couple of players down, and that could be really important in the second half. But what do we got, Dave? 70% of goals scored to the right of screen to the City end. So there's clearly an advantage in the first half. But it was really impressive the way North Launceston fought their way back. And you mentioned Taron Thomas, Dave. I thought he started to get his hands on the footy in the second half of that quarter. Brad Cox Goodyear was really important for them. And they just managed to scrunch a couple of goals, didn't they? It was Jake Pearce who got things happening. Harrison got a free kick. Then Ponting with a goal out of nothing with a really great attack on the footy. And so, look, they'd be really pleased with that response, North Launceston. Only 2 points in at half time. It's really set up for a terrific second half. And it's not easy, as we said, for the forwards. It's a slippery sort of a day. There's a lot of ball at ground level. So whoever's clean and whoever can, I guess, use the footy by hand and foot and get some really smart inside forward entries are probably going to go on and win this game, Macca.
It's a fascinating contest, Macca, isn't it? You just mark Bart McCulloch's name there.
Bart McCulloch, he could win the game for them. We've mentioned all day he kicked 5 against Glenorchy last time, and look, if they can get deep entries to him and he can mark the ball like he did late in that quarter, I think he can go a long way to winning the game for the Bombers. So yeah, look, Browning's right. They've done well, the Bombers, to get back into it. There is a breeze. I imagine Glenorchy to load up the centre and forward this quarter and try and kick away.
Okay, coming up at half time, we'll have Matt Hill from Windsor Park. We'll also have Anthony Osborne from North Hobart. We'll have all the team stats and a bit of a look at what's going to come up in the second half. But for now, here's some messages from City Park Radio.
Over on the Big Island, Brownie. It's a close one between Essendon and North Melbourne. It's Essendon trailing by a point against the Kangaroos, and it's early doors for the Demons and Port Adelaide. The Demons have kicked the first goal.
Like the D's today, Mac.
Like the D's?
I think they're a sneaky chance to win that game. I know you've written off the Western Bulldogs prematurely for mine, but we're really looking forward to the second half here, Macca.
Brad, how have you seen the TSL this season? Obviously, there's some teams in the northwest that have fallen off a little bit, but they've had the occasional good performance. But how have you seen the competition as a whole?
Yeah, look, I think the key feature has been the evenness of the competition, and notwithstanding, obviously, Burnie and Devonport, they would like, obviously, to be featuring a bit more prominently and being in games more often and winning more games of footy, importantly. From a South perspective, Tigers are still a bit of a work in progress. They'll certainly be helped by the Mariner Hugh Dixon back into that lineup. Daniel Archer's another player that's come across and has played AFL footy at St Kilda, been on the list there for a while, so that'll probably help them. I think the competition would love to see the Tigers up and running and firing. And Hobart City, it's been a bit of a slow burn for them too, Dave. I saw them early on in the season and they had a really good win against Launceston going back a few weeks ago, and you thought, gee, maybe they're going to push for the final five, but they probably just look like they're a little bit off that. And probably from what I've seen of Launceston, they're probably a fraction off those 3 or 4 teams in the North Launceston, Glenorchy, Clarence and Lauderdale in particular. So look, I've really enjoyed the season because I think there's been a degree of unpredictability about it that perhaps we haven't seen over the years in the TSL competition. Personally,
Dave, you mentioned the demise, I suppose, of the Northwest clubs, Brownie, and Devonport and Burnie, especially Burnie. There's massive issues up there at the moment between the Burnie Dockers as an entity and the NWFL. There was another article in the paper today down the Advocate that the NWFL don't want anything to do with what's called the Burnie Dockers trading name. They've shunned their juniors. The Burnie Dockers tried to get their juniors to play a pre-game up there the other week. The NWFL, because they run the junior competition, they wouldn't let the kids play before. The same thing happened at Devonport because they're not part of the TSL structure. It's just a real schmozzle down there at the moment. And the president of the NWFL, Andrew Richardson, we've seen a new president of Burnie this week, didn't we, as well? They've taken over there, Steve Dowling. And Steve Dowling wants to get in and have a chat to Andrew Richardson, the NWFL president, but he doesn't want any discussion about Burnie Dockers. He just wants to, they might let a Burnie Tigers, for example, back in, or the Burnie Hawks back into an NWFL structure, but the Burnie Dockers will never play NWFL football again.
Down on the boundary line, it's been in the rooms at half-time. Here's Adam Warney-Child. G'day, Warney. What's happening down there?
Yeah, the Northern Bombers are just run out onto the ground now, and interesting down there. Taylor Whitford pretty much took over all the coaching duties as such, so that must be his role today out there. And he was speaking very, very well, and it was a great little atmosphere inside the rooms there for North Launceston. They were very happy, obviously, with the second half of that second quarter there. They feeling that momentum has shifted, and this game is on their terms now. Don't want to waste the ball too much, and the big stat that they're looking at, they want to make sure they're sticking these tackles. So as Taylor Whitford walks past in his moon boot at the moment, he is definitely amongst that, as was Jay Lockhart. He's been pretty hands-on by the looks of it, and he's got a noticeable limp as well, so I'm not sure how far away he'll be at the moment. A couple of injuries out of there. Now, Alex Lee had a little bit of a rub on his knee, but I think the big thing for him was that bit of blood coming out of his nose towards the end of the first quarter, so knocked out those bit of claret as I was walking past him before. And also Danellan had a bit of work done on his lower leg, on his Achilles there. But other than that, I think they're looking pretty good. And Jack has been in with the Glenorchy rooms.
Yeah, it's quite blue in the Glenorchy rooms after their second half of that second quarter. Aaron Cornelius wasn't really happy with the ball use and wanted his players to play in this quarter a man-on-man, and when they have possession of the ball, he wants his players to spread. He thinks that contested possession and the hard ball gets will win this game for Glenorchy, and they need to up the ante a bit because North Launceston really bullied them in the end of that second quarter. And also, with the spreading, they really need to use the ball to the best of their abilities and kick their goals. They haven't really capitalised on that, so that's what we're going to have to look forward to in the next half.
Yeah, it's obviously very overcast here now. The lights have not come on, and that call did come from a bit of an official-looking person, so it's taken a bit of a while for our Gronners to flick the switch for us, but we definitely need that if they can add a couple of heaters here too, because it has dropped a couple of extra degrees, a couple of drops of rain during that quarter as well.
Warnie, very quickly,
now
the breeze down there, is it any advantage to either team?
Not really. A little bit of a breeze to the city end, but I don't think it's too much of an advantage. Now, Jack, did you get any info on what?
Josh Watt took a knock to the knee and went in the second quarter, but we can expect to see him out here in the last half, and he's still moving not very comfortably, but hopefully he loosens up a bit.
Only 2 on the bench for Glenorchy boys as we get underway here in the second half. So they're down a couple of rotations at this stage, Glenorchy. Coming through with a terrific kick is Jordan Arnold. He goes long down in front of his Glenorchy forwards there in Gunther. Gunther gets the hands off from Webb. The ball comes forward, goes down to Bowden, who has started deep forward as we expected. Ball comes out for North Launceston through Tyron Mansell. He goes short to Donnelly. Donnelly, he's got Bennett up the line. It's getting very dark, Dave. More of those dark Guernseys. Very hard to see. Watts is out there. He's taken this ball, so we'll try and find out who else isn't on the bench for Glenorchy. But I think Braden Webb's definitely one of them, Brownie.
No Braden Webb at the moment, and just looks like Josh Watts has reappeared, but he has got a bandage high up on that left leg.
Could be a hamstring or a groin or something like that. We'll keep our eye on Josh Watts as the ball's thrown in right over on centre wing. A quick kick forward by Glenorchy, taking front spot.
Mark.
Was Webster, but a terrific mark over the back, and that was Tyron Mansell.
Your boy Macca.
Yeah, he's had a few good weeks. Mansell goes backwards to Goss. Goss is called to play on because he took half a step to the left. He goes up the ground. This is Ponting. This is a big contest right here, right now. Liam Smith gets the ball back inside 50, looking for Bowden. The ball comes over the back. Bowden out of mid-air, soccer style, but it's gone through for a point. And Glenorchy sneak one more point in front, 5-7-37, lead the Bombers 5-4-34.
Out of defence now, the Bombers. Victor Solder takes the mark. He plays on straight away, gets it to Ponting in the centre of the ground. Over the top now towards Wadley. Wadley inside 50, looking for McCulloch. In front there was Bennett, so he can't quite take the mark. In front now is Josh Watts, this way, that away. Gets away beautifully. Short kick's a good one. Finds Liam Smith in the middle of the ground. Liam Smith wheels and goes up towards half forward, looking for Harry Pearce, up against Richter Solder. Good battle this one. Pearce tries to bust him off the ball. Richter Solder does well. He keeps his feet to Thomas. Tries to strike a tackle. Gets an intelligent kick, is it? Is it going to be played deliberate? He was looking for Baker. What's the umpire's decision? Throw in.
Couple of early scores from the other games, Dave. The Tigers kicked the first 2, but Launceston have come back. It's 2-3 Launceston leading the Tigers 2-2. Lauderdale 4-6 lead Devonport yet to score, and Clarence 4-2 lead Hobart City 2-3.
Cheerio to the Russell family who are listening in their car once again. Big fans of City Park Radio. Good afternoon. Here's Brad Cox-Goodger. He thinks about handball. He's too late now. He's tackled by Dilger holding the ball. He who hesitates is lost, they say, and he certainly did there, and Dilger was right on top. Now, it's Geared. Geared now up towards full forward. Over the back, is it Hills?
No.
It's Reynolds.
Hills is at the other end, Dave.
Reynolds is marked.
He's a full back, Hills.
He is. Ben Reynolds. They've swapped today a bit, Reynolds and Hills, but it's Reynolds who takes the mark.
First time Davey's been really able to get some separation from his opponent and jump up and take the foot. It was a smart kick by Geared, who's a left-footer, kicked the goal in the first quarter. Opportunity here for Reynolds.
Reynolds, sharp angle for goal. Use the drop punt. He hits the post. Second behind of the quarter for Glenorchy. 5-8-38 leading North Launceston 5-4-34 with 3.5 minutes in.
One of the other scores from around the ground, Brownie. Our listeners love to hear how the under-11 Lightning went. They won 3-2 in the soccer this morning.
Yeah, that was a big win because they were down at half-time too, weren't they, Matt?
Yes, they came home. And well done to Oscar McGee and his teammates. Good effort. The ball's going to be kicked out here. The yellow pills, is that a swap of the ball? Yellow pills? Am I just...
Yes, no, I think you're right.
Is that all right? The yellow pill now. The mark's taken by Gunther anyway. We'll let Brownie ponder that one. Gunther goes back inside deep, looking for Reynolds again, and Bowden as well, but the ball goes through. They have swapped ball colour. Yes, fingers up, thumbs up.
We saw that happen in the game down south, so I'm glad you guys do it up here as well. It's not just a cost-cutting exercise.
Thanks, Carl Saunder. If only you could turn the lights on, that would be great. Big Carlos. He'd have a switch down there and he's home, wouldn't he, for the Aurora Lights? That's a a terrific sort of ugly kick.
Carlton
But
Wadley.
it's taken by Rick de Solder. Rick de Solder finds Ponning. I call him a live wire, and he kicked a terrific goal in the second quarter, bounced it through from beyond 50, gives it to Cox Goodger. He looks down the line with that penetrating kick. Jackie Avent. It's taken though by Arnold, and the ball goes out of bounds. They can't call that deliberate. Umpire, throw it in, please.
Avent just struggled to get into the game today, Macca. We know he can push forward and kick goals. The last time these two teams met, he played as a small forward and kicked 3 on that occasion, one of the better players on the ground. So he'll be a bit of upside for him and for North Launceston in the second half if he can get his hands on the footy.
Ball's going to be thrown in, left forward pocket, North Launceston end of the ground. No one ends up taking it, so the ball comes over to Baker. Baker looks to spot up a teammate. It falls short though of Burt. Strolling out was big Johnny Geard, the big hacksaw. Gives it over in front here of Glenorchy. They kick the ball off the ground. Coming forward though is Arnold. He attacks the ball hard as Jordan Arnold. And the ball's though taken by North Launceston from Donnelly. Donnelly looks up. He's got Bennett. Bennett gives it over here to Mansell. Mansell's going to kick the ball in. He's got Bird on, but it hasn't gone to his advantage. And Geard takes it away.
Beautiful pick up there. I think it's Dilger this time.
Dilger.
Big fly there from Benny Reynolds. He can't take the mark. He turns tackler now on Baker. Baker can't pick it up. Glenorchy might win this contest. They will. Out comes the young bloke there in Callan Daly. He kicks up the line. Nice strong mark there to Harrison Gunther. He'll go inside. He's got players streaming forward. Oh, the delivery's not good, although Reece Mott makes it look good. Mott now streams through the centre. Short kick. Mark inside 50. Banks Smith.
Well, that's what can happen, Dave, when you're brave with a footy, and you called it beautifully. It was Gunther who tried a short pass, didn't quite come off, but fortunately for him, Mott was running forward. And
Banks Smith plays on now. Finds Geard. He's about 30 out, 45-degree angle. No, he's got to come back. The mark wasn't set. Tell us a bit about Ryan Banks Smith, Brownie.
Yeah, just a young player. Banks Smith played some senior footy last year as a really young player. I think it might have been 15 or 16. And look, his father played senior footy also at New Norfolk in the old statewide league days. Was a really smart centreman and grew up in the New Norfolk area. But Ryan Banks Smith, a really promising player. Banks
Smith from 48 leans back. It's off to the left, one behind. Squandering some opportunities here, Mac, early in the third quarter. 5-10-40 lead North Launceston, 5-4-34.
Yeah, with a slight breeze going to the city end, you think they need a couple of goal lead at three-quarter time. Foon is going to do his best to kick the ball long out to the railway wing. Flying high was Jock White, comes down to Pearce. He kicks it over. Louis Holmer's got a paddock here. He gets it out to his teammate in Avent, but he's handballed it straight across the line. As Brownie said, it was a poor handball because if he could have got the ball to Avent, he had a paddock in front of him. And Louis Homer turns the ball over, and as a result, the ball is going to be thrown in. I keep hearing a whistle in the effects mic. It's over at Invermay Park, Dave, where OLs are taking on Evandale today in the NTFA Div 2 clash. We'll try and get you some NTFA scores as well when they come through. The ball comes down here to Duffy and Alex Lee, and the ball's going to be thrown up. The umpire was circling. The players were looking for a holding the ball. Dave?
Quarter time, Lauderdale 4-6-30. Devonport yet to score. Could be wind affected there.
Percentage is going to come and make a big part as well, Dave.
Clarence 26, Demons 16.
So close one, Hobart City. As we heard at half time, they caused the upset earlier in the year, defeating Clarence. Let's see what can happen today. They need to win the Hobart City Demons. Pearce gets the ball from the resulting kick from Mott. Gives it over here, though, taken by Mansell. It's White. White, it's missed in there by Caelan Daly. Reece Mott butters up, gives the ball, but it's only going to go as far as Foon, taking the mark in defensive 50. Foon goes way over the other side looking for Lee. Hasn't taken many marks around the ground today. We're used to that happening. Ball comes back inside to Cox Goodger. Left foot, down the line. Looks as though he's turned it over, though. Full back of the century, Mitch Hills takes the mark.
Hills, mark on centre wing. He looks for options, hands it off. Kick forward by Camerick up towards half forward. Oh, that's a strong mark, is it? Not paid. Off hands. That was Ben Reynolds flying high. Chance now for, that was Jock White. Handballs to a teammate, and that's out of bounds on the full. As Bart McCulloch tries to claim the mark inside, it wasn't so.
Glenorchy trying to isolate Jay Bowden here, and they'd love a couple of forward inside 50 entries where he can hopefully use all his goal and experience and try and get Glenorchy some scoreboard pressure here. It won't be long before they'll probably roll him up into the midfield, but you would think if it goes to plan like it did in the first half, Dave, they'll stick with him down there for the first half of the quarter, and then maybe rolling through the midfield in the back half.
Quarter time at Windsor Park, Dave. Launceston by 2 points over the Tigers.
So close one there at Windsor Park. Really crucial game there for the Lonnie Footy Club. As it's Daly there, gets the handball away towards Mott. It's out of bounds. Good pressure there from Mark Walsh. We're about 75, 80 metres around from Glenorchy's goal. They probably got the breeze this quarter, but they've only kicked the 4 behinds. So they lead by 6 points.
Essendon by 4 points over the Kangaroos early in the second, and the Demons have got away to a good start. Brownie, you picked them. They're up by 17.
Here's Geared. Handball over the top to Mott. Mott inside 50. Chance here. Banks Smith off a step. Contest in the goal square. Jay Bowden. Strong body up against Foon. Glenorchy pushing hard. Liam Smith goes at it. Chance here. Snap for goal. Smothered. That was James Webb. Still a chance for Glenorchy off the ground. That's a behind, is it?
Oh, jeez, it's nearly gone through.
I think this might be a goal. I'm trying to just have a look at the player who kicked it there.
I think it's a point. Glenorchy have set up like it's a point.
James Webb didn't get excited, did he? Yes, there we go.
Yeah, there's one behind.
In that situation, though, you celebrate like you have kicked it.
Coming from
put some doubt in the mind of the goal umpire.
Coming from the bloke who kicked many goals up at the South Lonnie Kennel, Cameron Brown, one of the greatest minds in Tassie footy, joining us here on City Park. The ball's kicked back in. Banks Smith, and here's the Prince. Jay Bowden gets the ball from Banks Smith. Once again, it was a terrible kick out the Northern Bombers. Jay Bowden, he's gone deep forward. He's going to take the mark right on the boundary line. He's got a couple of metres inside. He's tucked away in front of the secondary scoreboard here. Brownie's going to put it down. He goes on the banana, but it hits the post, and it's behind Jay Bowden.
Same post as Bennell Reynolds hit from a similar spot, Dave. And look, it's early stages in this third quarter, but they would be concerned, Glenorchy, because they've had all the play, but haven't been able to kick a goal to start this second quarter.
Glenorchy 5-12-42, lead North Launceston 5-4-34. Taron Thomas got upended from that kick in. He's up and about there, and he's okay. And it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to go to the North Launceston player in Tyron Mansell.
Mackie, you mentioned
Carlton
North
Wadley, in
Launceston too, and they just haven't been able to hit targets coming out of that back half
today.
It's
been terrible. Normally they're great at that. But that man Lockhart, we keep referring to, Dave Moore.
Inside 50s, 10-4 in this third quarter.
So there you go. Glenorchy. What have they kicked for the quarter?
6
behinds to North Lonnie yet to score.
I guess the other one too, Macca, is Foom. When he's dragged back to the goal square to play on someone like Jay Bowden, you can't use his foot skills as much as you'd like.
Wants to run and carry. We haven't seen much of Tom Couch this quarter. This ball comes from Lee, gives it to Couch right on cue, gives it over to Mansell. He's taken in an excellent tackle from behind by Zach Webster using his pace.
Good kick.
Reece Mott takes the play on. It's gone to Liam Smith. Smith inside 50. Here's Jay Bowden. Big clunk on Foon, and if he's going to be too good for Foon, you might as well release Foon and just put someone on, a youngster on him, but you can't leave Jay Bowden one-on-one on a Jay Foon. He's given away a little bit of height and strength and, of course, experience. Jay Bowden takes the mark 30 metres out, Dave Moore.
Good skill, Brownie, from Liam Smith.
Oh, it was, and we called him, didn't we, Dave, as a player that needed to lift in the second half, and that's why, because he's a beautiful kick, as you mentioned, Dave, and it just pierced through, got through through the air really quickly.
Even before that, Brownie, the Reece Mott kick, sets it back up in centre corridor. Jay Bowden, 30 metres out. He kicked it behind a minute ago, but this one swings back like a Dave Moore driver at Longford yesterday. Speaking of consistency off the tee, Dave Moore, Jay Bowden's done that, and he's kicked Glenorchy's sixth goal, 6-12-48. Lead North Launceston 5-4-34, 13.5 minutes. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5 FM, and simulcast on the TSL live stream. Dave Moore, your little fade yesterday off the tee, very similar.
Very reminiscent.
Very similar. Very consistent he was yesterday, Cameron Brown.
That's an important goal, isn't it? Because they'd had those 6 behinds and hadn't capitalised on a lot of opportunities, and now they've cleared out a 14-point lead here at UTAS Stadium as the handball comes out. Cox Goodger, give and go with Mark McCulloch. Back to Cox Goodger, leads back, kicks it nicely towards Ponting, who's marks 2 kicks out from goal. Plenty of options here, and one's Mark Walsh. He can't quite take the mark. Good work there by the Glenorchy defence, picked up by Josh Watts.
Well done.
He's tackled, but he does get the kick away. He calls the advantage here of Jock White. He picks it up at first grab. Not a great handball towards Ponting. It's out of bounds.
We mentioned Harry Pearce. He has rolled up into that last centre bounce, and different players are going to have to spend some time in there because Braden Webb, we might go and check with Warnie Day, but I don't think he's going to reappear. It's been a long time now, and he hobbled off at half time. So different players are going to have to step up in the midfield because he plays 95% of his time in that particular area of the ground.
And sort of the theory is today is you can handle one rotation. When you get 2 rotations down, it becomes very difficult, especially in that last quarter. As here comes Couch now, his handball smothered. It's taken there by Connor Solder. Tackle late on him, he still gets the handball away, back towards Geared. Shoveled backwards. Kick off a step there by Camrick, close to the boundary line, did well. Great mark, Harrison Gunter.
Smart player, Gunther, and that's his one word, his modus operandi, just to get some separation and lead up at the ball carrier.
Interesting kick to Mott, puts him under pressure. Here's Zach Burt, handball over the top to McCulloch. He's got Couch, over the top to Couch. He's within about 30 from goal, round the corner, Tom Couch. But doesn't make the distance, Louis Holmer. He falls once, he falls twice. It bounces through for a behind. Golden opportunity there for the Bombers.
Well, 3 North Launceston players put up their hands and then dropped them in disdain there at Louis Holmer. It was a little bit unlucky, wasn't it? But gee, he found some space. And
that breeze held the kick up again, though, didn't it?
It
Couch it looked as though it was going through and didn't make the distance. Burt tries to claim the mark from the kick out. Ball comes over the back to Smith, involved in the last goal. Comes back to Smith. He's going to break 50. He's got Bowden on long. Brownie points. Give it to the Prince, and he does so, but it's gone way out wide, and it's gone out of bounds, left forward pocket. Oh, that kick just had to be directed more to the top of the square, Brownie. He hooked it, looking for extra distance, Liam Smith, but he's finding some space. Glenorchy, they're actually beating the Bombers at their own game at the moment.
I think the breeze is having an effect on field kicking. I think that kick went much further than than was anticipated. Absolutely.
Brownie Warnie said not much of a breeze. I reckon Warnie needs to go and stand out in the middle at 3/4 time because I reckon there is a fair breeze. If he had some hair, Warnie, he'd probably feel it, but he doesn't. He's got the beanie on today, Warnie, down on the boundary. He's had a big week over in WA in the DT Talk. All the stuff on City Park Radio, Dave, going beautifully.
Absolutely.
With the boys, doing live broadcasts on City Park.
Yep, fantastic.
The boys doing all their work. You're pointing something out, Brownie. James Webb, also off the ground, is he?
Just want to check on that. He's...
haven't been seen?
No, I haven't seen him much at all this quarter.
Okay, here's Reece Mott, had a good quarter. We found James Webb, good to see. Ball comes down for Glenorchy. Holding the footy nearly was John Geared. Ball comes back though, here's Holmer. He drops that one as well, big Louis. Gives it off to Couch. He's going to have a runner on the outside. Finds him in Cox Goodger. He's not on the left, now he is. Back inboard to Ponting. They're going to have to hit someone up. He's got Bennett screaming for the ball at the top of the 50. Doesn't see him. They've got to lead and create some space. He goes wide out to the boundary line. Richter Solder comes back inboard, turns the ball over and gives it straight to the Glenorchy player and Joshy Arnold. Arnold gives it off to Duffy. Duffy going to kick it straight back to Louis Holmer, but that ball's definitely carrying with the breeze. Comes down to Reynolds. Reynolds over the top of Holmer. Should have got the free kick, but didn't. It actually gone the other way. It's going to go to Reynolds for a trip below the ankle. So Reynolds, he's got the ball on far centre wing. Reynolds
in possession, 13-point lead to Glenorchy. If you've just joined us, it's been a great contest. Glenorchy perhaps with a slight breeze in this third quarter. The sun comes out here at UTAS Stadium. Falls now towards, that's Pearce. His kick smothered. Chance now for Richter Solder. He barrels his way through, loses possession. It's a hotly contested ball now, about 60 metres out from Glenorchy's goal.
Geez, Louis Holmer, Brownie, go back to that centre wing.
A lot, doesn't
he? Yeah, he does. Taught it all day.
It's going to be difficult here for both teams, Dave, to try and get a really penetrating inside 50 because both teams are set up well behind the footy with numbers back.
Glenorchy very disciplined in defence there before as North Launceston were going forward. Here's Ponting now. Kicks wide here looking for Jake Pearce. Also there is Couch who's staying to come into the game. Tom Couch over the top now to Pearce. Now what's the umpire saying? Was it out of bounds?
Moved off his mark after the umpire called time, did he?
I haven't seen
I think he went forward of the mark, maybe.
Boys, I haven't seen North Lonnie go as wide as this. Normally we see them banging the ball into Burt and Bennett and Holmer and McCulloch, and they're just going wide every time today.
Couch goes wide again as Walsh can't take the mark. Reynolds tackled over the line.
Is that a force thing, Brownie?
I think it is, Macca, because a couple of times when you look towards the North Launceston forward line, you look up and you see Hills, Watts playing that goalkeeping role. Dilger's another one that gets back, which has forced
Arnold
them
as well,
wide
Jordan
because
Arnold.
they haven't been able to blaze away and get the one-on-one 50-50s that they'd like.
Down at the front now is Cox Goodger. He gets back on that trusty left foot. Kick inside 50, looking here for Bennett. And also there is Watts. Bounces in play. Still in play, is it? No, it was out of bounds originally.
There was exactly what we were talking about, wasn't it? 2-on-1, Glenorchy's favour, going long. So they're up against it, North Launceston. They've swung the ball back in their favour, Glenorchy. 6-12-48 lead North Launceston, 5-5-35, about to tick over 19.5 minutes here in the third quarter. This round 16 clash. The top three up for offerings here today. It's going to be all important come finals time. Louis Homer barges through the pack, taken by Hills, good below the knees. Gives it across to his Glenorchy teammate. Comes nearly out of bounds though, turnover. Cox Goodger back inside. Taron Thomas. Is he one that they look to go forward, Brownie, Taron Thomas? Give him a bit more electricity, a bit more spark? Or at least push him up onto a wing or a bit more attacking role?
Wing might be the go because he can break open and normally break the lines with his run and carry.
Played a lot in defence today. The ball's tapped out down in front of Avent. The ball goes out of bounds in the forward pocket area.
20-minute mark of this quarter, Dave, just the one goal kick.
Yeah.
So Glenorchy, although with a handy lead, they'd like to push that margin out to 3 or 4 goals heading into the last quarter, considering, probably 75% of goals today have been scored to the city end.
The Bombers would definitely be happy with the position at the moment. They can maintain it within a couple of goals at three-quarter time. They're right in it.
Duffy, McCulloch, they do battle. Comes down to Mott, but it's turned over. Avent slung in the tackle, gives it over to Ponting. Here's Taron Thomas, put the foot down, son. He scrubs the kick inside 50. Chaos ball pushed out of the play. There was Bennett. He looks for the free kick. Hill says, I don't care. I'm going to barrel at 80 metres with the breeze all the way to centre wing. Here's a Gunther punch forward. So we're kicking a punch and they're already nearly to their forward line. Glenorchy, great tackle there by Liam Smith. He's had a good quarter. Pearce comes out of the pack, but the umpire turns the ball over. Cameron Brown, the southerner he is, he's not happy with the call, and the ball's going to go free kick to Baker in the half-back area for North Lonnie. They're away to the Pies.
What do you think, Brownie?
No, I wouldn't have paid it, Dave, but full credit to North Launceston and Baker. He worked pretty hard in that one-on-one situation, so he's got the free kick. Good luck to him.
Caitlin Baker, ex-Storm player up the wing. Nice strong mark there to Jake Pearce. Had some time out of the team earlier in the season. Goes this way, that away. He gets caught. He still manages to sling a kick away up towards half forward. Oh, Bennett came from a long way back. Falls to the front to Josh Watts. Bit of poise there. Tries to get to Webster, who's been quiet. Over the top there was Baker. It's knocked out of bounds.
See, it's a dour struggle, isn't it? And both play between the arcs at the moment. And both teams struggling to try and find some space and composure with the footy.
The rain looks as though it's gone away, Dave. It's brightening up again.
Get us some round-the-ground scores there, Mac, if you could.
Round-the-ground scores. It's the Kangaroos by 2 points. It's the Demons by 25 over Port Adelaide.
Here goes Tyron Mansell. Kick inside 50. Bennett, Hills, rise high. Good work there from Watts at the front. Snap for goal by Pearce. Doesn't go anywhere. Fisted out there by Hills. Falls just as far as Mark Walsh. Round now towards Bennett. Handball to Brad Cox-Goodger. Handball straight away to Couch. He's a long way out, Tom Couch. He's just pushed off the kick slightly and it's one behind. He was appealing for a free kick there, Tom Couch. Nothing doing. 5-6-36 North Launceston. Glenorchy 6-12-48.
Round the grounds, Windsor Park, North Launceston 3-8, lead the Tigers 2-3. Lauderdale 42, lead Devonport 12. And the Hobart City Demons trail Clarence by 5 points.
Great work out of defence by the Magpies as Mitch Rainbird thumps it up the wing. Appeals there for deliberate, not so says the umpire, so it's out of bounds. Just the attacking side of the wing for the Magpies. They lead by 12 points. Coming in towards the 23-minute mark of this third quarter. You're listening to 103.7 FM City Park Radio, 96.5 also, and the TSL live stream this afternoon. Boundary throw in. Crucial few minutes here leading up to three-quarter time. Lee to the front. Here's Brad Cox-Goodger, cruises after the ball. He's got Ponting in support. He picks it up. Look away handball, not a good one. They're going to turn it over here, although Cox-Goodger butters up. Does get it full now towards McCulloch, who gets through about 5 opponents. Handball towards Walsh, not a great one. He does have the advantage though. He picks it up over the top. Zach Burt is clear. Open shot at goal. Zach Burt is through. And that's the one they needed just before three-quarter time. And good work there up the wing from the Northern Bombers. End up with Zach Burt, who calmly slotted it through from about 25 out.
Yeah, really important goal for North Launceston. They just worked it forward. And I thought the last 5 minutes they've just had the ascendancy around the contest without necessarily showing on the scoreboard. But that becomes a really important goal for them. Against a run of flow, really, we haven't seen a lot of goals scored to the left of screen, but it brings it to within a goal. So it might have been a handball from Mark Walsh there that just opened up the play a little bit, and Zach Burt found himself with a little space, and North Launceston have missed those sorts of goals today. So that becomes really important for them. Glenorchy need a response here.
Single goal kickers across the board today here at UTAS Stadium. Here's Matthew McGee.
Very much so. Ball up, game on here, 6 points. And the umpire's found a free kick, goes to Ponting. He comes and goes out of the game, but when he's in it, he's electric. Ball comes over to Jock White towards the railway wing. White's got about a 5 metre lead on Smith. You can see this game opening up as the players get a little bit tired. But once again, they go way wide out in front of the scoreboard, out on the hill, Dave Moore. And just wide, isn't it? 25-minute mark. They just don't want to go long because they know Glenorchy have set up behind the ball pretty well. They got big Hillsy there, along with Arnold and the big hacksaw, Johnny Geard. Ball comes down in front of Lee. Oh, great hands, Walsh. Gives it over to Cox Goodger. Here's an inside 50. Arnold's got the spot. Good contest, Burt. Front of the pack, Couch. Was taken away by Dilger. Dilger can only go as far. And Liam Smith, what a tap in front of Wadley. And, sorry, it was Baker. Baker's got the ball now. Liam Smith's had a good quarter for Glenorchy. It's been dangerous. Ball comes inside. It's an excellent mark in front, diving. That's taken by Wadley. So Wadley right on 50. Taken in front of Arnold. Here's Hills up against McCulloch. McCulloch flies, front of the pack. Cox Goodger. He's in everything at the moment. Bradley, left, right. Can't get on the left foot though. Goes to hand, taken high was Jordan Arnold. And the ball's going to be a free kick. Oh, I thought Cox Goodger was going to pull the trigger there and send one through.
I was ready for goal of the year there.
He was ready. Left, right. Arnold, he caught one. He gives it off to Mott. Mott goes out to the scoreboard side. Taken by Glenorchy. They're away, looking for Reynolds down the line, but it's well positioned and cut off by Connor Young. So Young quickly play on, gives it to Couch. Couch over the top to Pearce. Pearce is going to look inside 50. They got the numbers back though. Glenorchy, that's taken by Josh Watts.
Yeah, they're just not hitting targets there.
There's the one, isn't it, Brandon? They've got to lead up at the footy, North Lonnie, do they? Because the bomb away's just not working.
No, and Glenorchy are well set up behind the footy that particular kick, as both teams have been throughout the game.
Watts had to play on quickly there and just kicked it to a contest on the wing. It's knocked out of play. We're at the 26.5-minute mark. Glenorchy 6-12 at 48. North Launceston 6-6 42. It's going to be pretty close at three-quarter time. Can either team sneak a goal? It'll be pretty vital. Leading up to the three-quarter time break. Boundary throw in. Crowd quiet here at UTAS Stadium. Lee gets it down to Ponting, who's tackled immediately. Gets it to Cox Goodyer. Backwards to Tyron Mansell. He kicks it up here to a contest. Couch is there. Jake Pearce. Oh, gee, he's played a good game today. He goes short this time now to Ponting, who has a bit of time. He's attacked from behind, holding the ball. Play on, says the umpire.
Holding the tackler. Great tackle.
Mott now gets it into the centre of the ground. Liam Smith's got it. He's approached there by Baker. He shrugs the tackle. Liam Smith into a one out. It's Bowden now. Oh, it's a free kick, isn't it? The mark's paid to Jay Foon. Good work there. And wasn't that an important contest in the context of this game?
Well, Jay Bowden's not happy either. He cocked the fist there, ready to go at Connor Young. Good thing he didn't give him a little jumper punch because he could have got a couple of weeks. But Bowden, he's frustrated because he felt as though he should have had a free kick.
Yep, and the players separate. But that was, as I said, in the context of this game, Brownie, a mark or a free kick there to Bowden and a goal would have made a big difference.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good call, actually.
Yep.
Play on for mine and worked really well there, Jay Foon. But, gee, what an arm wrestle it was, that quarter, boys. Just the one goal scored for each team. So you just wonder, Glenorchy with a couple of rotations down, they're going to have to do it the hard way here, and maybe the fresher legs North Launceston might get them over the line.
Aaron Cornelius very animated at the three-quarter time break. We'll hear from the boundary line in a moment, but before we do so, we've got the goal kickers day for Glenorchy. It's Zach Webster, James Webb, Harrison Pearce, John Geard, Jay Bowden and Mitchell Rainbird, all with one. The same for North Lonnie, it's all singles to Bradley Cox Goodger, Josh Ponting, Zach Burt, Bart McCulloch, Callum Harrison and Louis Ulmer.
It's low scoring, but it's a thrilling contest here at UTAS Stadium. It's deserved the status of these two teams, first and third on the ladder. It's going to be a fantastic last quarter. We're going to take a break. We're going to catch our breath here at UTAS Stadium. We'll be back in a minute or so. We'll have the team stats and we'll have the other scores from around the grounds. Welcome back to UTAS Stadium. It's Glenorchy 6-12-48, North Launceston 6-6-42. Macca around the grounds.
Around the grounds, Lauderdale 9-7-61 lead Devonport 2 straight 12. That's in the second quarter. A good battle at Windsor Park. It's Launceston 4-10-34 lead the Tigers 3-3-21. It's also a close battle down at North Hobart Oval. It's Clarence 5-3-33 leading the Hobart City Demons 4-4-28. And over in the AFL, it's Essendon 51 leading the Kangaroos 47, and the Melbourne have skipped away to a 32-point lead. They lead 35 to Port Adelaide, yet to score a goal, and Cameron Brown's pumped.
Yeah, a bit of a fist bump there.
He's tipped the Demons.
And Dave Moore is a runaway.
They're playing at home, though. So is that
TCA footy tipping, so I've got
is
to
that a
get
big
back.
tip, though?
Well, I think Port Adelaide were
The Demons are at
favourites,
home.
reasonably
Were
strong
they really?
favourites, in the line of betting. But I'm not sure who you
Not
pick
over
here,
yet.
boys, because it's a really tight game, isn't it? And we mentioned a few times. I think it might be Quinn might be off the ground for Glenorchy, and also Webb. So a couple of prime movers, because I thought Quinn with his run and carry was pretty handy early on for Glenorchy. And with Webb, we know how what a prime mover he is in the midfield for Glenorchy. Can go forward and kick goals. But interesting, isn't it? We haven't had a key forward that's been able to take the game by the scruff of the neck, or really a player for that matter, Dave, because different players have drifted in and out of the game.
I'll tell you what, the North midfield in that latter half of that quarter, we had Couch lifted, Cox Goodger has been good all day. Jake Pearce came into the game, Mark Walsh. So
Ponding gets off at chain a little bit and goes. And the stats, Dave, pretty even in the ruck hit-outs, 31-33, 11-9 that quarter, North Lonnie way. Clearances, North Launceston dominant, 12-4 for the quarter, and now take the lead, 27-21 in the clearances. Inside 50s, 15-12 for the quarter, the Bombers' way.
Now, at one stage, Macca, that was, I think, was 10-4 Glenorchy's way. So that last half of that quarter, they really dominated.
Glenorchy took 4 marks inside 50, which is one thing we said they had to do, Brownie. North Launceston were the ones that struggled. They actually took 0 for the quarter. It was 7 shots on goal to Glenorchy's. That's what's going to come back to bite them.
It might be in a
Jay
tight
Bowden
game.
missed, Reynolds missed.
Reynolds, they both hit the post, and if they put those through, they've got a handy 3-goal lead, and you'd be able to say, look, maybe there's an opportunity for a hold on. But they're right in this contest.
And
both teams.
the umpires are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think they've let it go, Macca, and
19-13 the free kicks in North Lonnie's way, but you wouldn't say that Glenorchy have been hard done by.
Brownie, how do you see things panning out in this last quarter?
Oh, look, like most games, Dave, I think it's going to be the midfield battle in the last quarter, and maybe Glenorchy down a few rotations. They're going to have to find some different players to roll through there and step up, because I think Reece Mott's been pretty good in there for Glenorchy. Liam Smith responded, didn't he? He had a pretty quiet first half, but he looked dangerous when he had his hands on the footy. They persisted with Jay Bowden forward for that whole quarter, but he'll probably have some fresh legs. Expect him to spend some time in the midfield, although in a close game like this, if he can get some supply and kick a couple of goals, that would be really telling. So North Launceston expect Cox Goodyear to go in there. Thomas might be rolled through there, and they'll have different stages where different players will move forward. Mark Walsh looks like he's going forward to start this quarter. They've still got Zach Burt down there, Bennett, so they've certainly got the tall targets down there that can present a problem, in particular Bart McCulloch, if he can start to catch the footy. So really set up for a terrific last quarter. Love to see Harrison Gunther, Macca, in the last quarter, as Mitch Hills also goes forward to try and get his hands on the footy, because he's one player that can be a really difficult matchup.
Down the boundary, we've got Warney and the boys down there. What's happening, Warney?
Yeah, really quickly, Taylor Whitford once again was taken over the reins there. Very impressed with the half-forwards and what they're doing. Jake Pearce was given a fair pat on the back as he was going. And their key message is be brave this quarter. They do have a breeze. There is a breeze there, Macca, heading towards the city end. And it has changed during the game, though. It did increase, though, in that quarter. And Jack has been with the bit of depleted Glenorchy.
Yeah, Aaron Cornelius seemed quite calm, surprisingly. He just needs his team to be smarter with their ball use if they have a set shot to take their full 30 seconds and run the clock down.
Thanks, boys.
There we go.
Boundary line, we're underway in the last quarter. We're here for the end of the game, Warney. So we're underway as the ball
Tom
goes
Bennett
forward.
has a shot for goal, but it comes off the outside of the boot and goes out of bounds. So North Lonnie inside 50. They're going to press, and they're going to press hard. They trail by a goal at the start of this fourth quarter. Round 16 battle TSL. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5 FM, and via the online stream. Boundary throw in, right forward pocket. Bart McCulloch gets the hit down directly to his on ball, and the umpire says, I'm about to ball it up. So North Lonnie, you think if they get level with them, they could run away with this, the Bombers. That's the feeling I'm getting, Cameron Brown. We'll have to wait to see. Glenorchy got too many good players to allow that to happen, though, you'd imagine. The ball comes out from Dilger to Smith. Liam Smith fighting with Baker. Ball comes into Couch. He's taken high. And the umpire says, Tom Couch, you can have a free kick. Hasn't hit the scoreboard today yet, Tom Couch. He's kicked 33 goals for the season. He goes in forward, a terrific mark. One of Dave Moore's favourites of the day. That's Jake Pearce. And an excellent mark in front of Watts.
He's been fantastic, Mac. He dropped a few weeks ago.
He lost and he wasn't great against Devonport the other week we did.
But today he's been fantastic.
Jake Pearce, he's taken a mark about 30 out, 45-degree angle. We're right behind it. He levels himself up, Jake Pearce. It starts right-hand goal post and stays there and goes through for a behind. So North Lonnie, they get to within a goal. 6-7-43, Trial Glenorchy. 6-12-48.
Reece Mott has the ball. Sums up his options. He kicks to himself. Now he goes long outside his defensive 50. Nice kick. Rising high there was Jordan Arnold. Falls to Rainbird, who's been quiet. He's tackled to the ground. It'll be a ball up about 70 metres out from North Launceston's goal.
Bringing you all the local sport, Dave. You're off to the Tawns later on tonight. A big game for the Tawns. They went down to the Hobart Chargers last week.
Yeah, they really need to win this one to secure a home final against the Canberra Capitals Academy. And the Chargers had a good win over them last night. Here comes North Launceston. Play on, says the umpire. Couch from a long way out for goal. Tom Couch. That's just offline. One behind. So peppering the goals early days here. North Launceston 6-8-44. Glenorchy 6-12-48. Play on from defence now. That's Josh Arnold. Long 70-metre kick. Fisted away by McCulloch. Falls to Mott. Here they go now, the Magpies. Mott up the wing. Looking for and finding Mitch Hills, who's been swung forward. He settles things down as Mitch Hills, former South Launceston and Western Storm player. He's going to handball off now to Mitch Rainbird. Sums up his options on the boundary line. Kicks up towards half forward. Fisted away there by Hayden Goss, out of bounds, Brownie.
Yeah, just watching Zach Webster too there as that forward 50. He made his way inside 50 to be a target, but he's clearly hampered at the moment, injured at the moment, boys, and hobbling a little bit. It looks like an upper leg injury for him. So that's what you've got to do, I guess, Dave, when your team's down a couple on rotation. You've just got to push through for the benefit of your team.
That's right. Josh Watts perhaps carrying an injury as well. His Couch G's lifted in the second half. He kicks short. Contest there. Ponting falls now to Rainbird. Handball to Camerick. Handball further forward now towards Mott. He's got a bit of time. He wheels and goes. Left foot kick inside. 50 chance here. Is it a mark? No. It's Webster. He shovels it off the ground. Kick around the corner up towards Bowden. Can't take the mark. Well done, Foon, on this occasion. On the boundary line, Harry Pearce might have caught one. That's going to be a boundary throw in.
He's been pretty good, Foon, in some of those one-on-one battles. Macca was.
It's not the role he normally wants to play, Brownie.
No,
so.
well, no one wants to play on Jay, I wouldn't have thought. Certainly in the last 7 or 8 years in this competition, because he's been a standout when he pushes forward. So clever.
Boundary throw in, tight in the forward pocket for Glenorchy. Taken down for Lee, defensive side. Gets it down to Cox Goodger. He's been one of the best on the ground today for mine.
Mackie, you were critical of the North defence at quarter time, but they've only conceded 2 goals.
Yes, they have. The youngsters have done well. Ball comes down. He's one of them. Taron Thomas, silky left foot, goes out, but it could be out too wide. It's either a mark or a free kick to Reynolds. And Ben Reynolds is going to take the mark in front of Bart McCulloch. Yeah, look, they've done well, haven't they? They've got their structures right. Their midfield's lifted, though, the Bombers, and that always makes the defence look good when the midfield lifts. Bradley Cox-Goodger over the back, can't take it. Pearce is there, tackled by Taron Thomas. And there's going to be a ball up right on the 50-metre line.
Just wonder if you potentially throw Mitch Rainbird forward just for 5 or 10 minutes. He's very strong overhead. Normally a good kick for goal, so that could potentially be a move for Aaron Cornelius.
Both sides haven't been able to get the ascendancy up forward. Tom Couch goes long, that breeze having an effect. Arnold, he's got an important one-on-one battle. Is Jordan Arnold. Gives it over the back to his teammate in gear, and the ball comes forward and finds Josh Arnold. So Josh Arnold plays that back defensive role well. Little back pocket player. Comes up forward to Webster. He's one of the fastest players in the state, Brownie, and he can't get off his opponent in an event.
Clearly hampered at this particular point in time.
What crippled his AFL career, didn't it? He just couldn't get a crack at Hawthorn. We're going to play him a couple of times in that hamstring. I remember even here in a pre-season game, Zachy Webster actually went down with that hamstring in the warm-up. So it's been debilitating for him. over the last couple of years. Ball comes out fortuitously to Tarrant Thomas. He looks to give the handball and give it back from Walsh. Walsh is caught in a great tackle by Jordan Arnold. He was going to look to get it back, Tarrant.
It was an interesting decision there for Mark Walsh. He either could get the quick handball away, but he decided to take on the tackler.
Here we go again. It's a great battle in the ruck. Lee and Duffy, Cox Goodger, racking them up. Gives it over to Pearce. He's got the forwards on deep. It's not going to quite get to McCulloch. It's going to be cut off, and well cut off there by Dilger.
Dilger marks deep in defence.
Been very good. Hasn't he played above his height?
Goes wide, looking here for Liam Smith. It just falls towards the boundary line over now.
What I mean, he's giving away, about a foot and a half there to McCulloch, and he takes a mark in front. Very, very strong Dilger.
Haven't said the score for a while. It's the Pies by 4 points. And we've been playing 6 minutes already in this last quarter, so time's elapsing. It's not going to be a big score that wins this game. Probably 8 goals will be the one. Here comes Thomas. He picks it up, breaks a tackle, gets it to Ponting. Ponting kicks inside 50. Prod Cox Goodger's there. He can't take the mark. Dilger goes through. He tries to break the tackle. It's Brad Cox Goodger once again. But good decision umpire. It'll be a ball up about 40 out from the North Launceston goal. They're pushing hard, but they haven't put one through the big sticks in this last quarter as yet. Front position Duffy. Good work there from Watts. Handball to space. Oh, strong contest. I think that was Mark Walsh that was met there.
Yeah, Banks Smith came through.
Good work there by the young boy. It's right on the edge of the centre square. North Launceston in attack. Here goes Alex Lee up against Duffy. Lee does well towards Thomas, who gets it to Pearce, back to Thomas. Tarrant Thomas, the excitement machine for goal. Yes! He's got one! Tarrant Thomas puts the Bombers in front. 7-8-50. Glenorchy 6-12-48. And that was worked out well there from the ruck. Alex Lee, pivotal in that goal. And the Bombers, Brownie, in front for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, and look, a really handy goal for them. And it might just be those sorts of moments of individual brilliance that separates this game, because there's nothing in it. North Launceston pressed hard, and what a star he is, young Tarrant Thomas there, just out of the stoppage, a goal out of nothing really, and was able to get some really good distance on his kick. And as you say, Dave, North Launceston in front for the first time for quite a long time.
I did call in that third quarter for him to roll forward, Brownie, and that's in fact what he does. And here he is again. Tarrant Thomas taken in the contest. Fozzie wants a free kick for his boy Tarrant, not coming. Ball goes down the line. Glenorchy going to repel through Arnold. Comes up the line looking for and finding Webb.
Free kick.
In fact, it is a free kick. James Webb.
Been pretty quiet, Webb.
Been quiet apart from that early goal. Goes down the line. Both teams playing an extra behind the footy, making it hard to score. This is Connie Young. Over to Richter Solder. Railway wing side of the ground. Difficult to see. That's Tyron Mansell, sorry. We've got a Tarrant and a Tyrant. So Tarrant looks for Tyron looks for Tarrant, can't find him. And the ball's cut off back there by Arnold. So that's Jordan Arnold. Comes through, looks for Josh Arnold. Josh Arnold goes short to Mott, nearly cut off by Ponting. But it's a free kick, pushing the back. And he stood tall, Reese Mott. He's a good kick of the footy. He's got Liam Smith on. He's got out wide here for Glenorchy. He's got Connor Solder, ignores both of them. Goes to the big Duff man. The big Duff man puts the Jukes up. 1, 2. Can't take it. Walsh is away. Looks for Couch. Can't find the handball. Whoever's going to be clean and neat is going to win this game of footy. Here's Baker. He's got Bird over the top. Walsh inside. Goes short. Terrific smother there from Glenorchy by Connor Solder. Saves the day. And the ball goes out of bounds. Zach Bird, that is nearly a little corky trip. Watch yourself, son, because you might be back at the tribunal. And Arnold gets up, thankfully, but it didn't look great from here. Brownie, you saw it.
No, it looked like he was just going to raise a knee and try and give a
little one there. Got to be a free kick to Bennett. The umpire says, play on. I can never work those ruck jewels out, Dave. There's another one. This is Webb. He tries to kick it off the ground. Young Donnelly cut off by Gunther. Here's a great contest too. Young Tassie under-18s. Gives it over to Webb with speed. Goes out wide to Camerick. Camerick's on the run. Well done, North Launceston. Coming through there was Avent. Avent back through the pocket. Back through the centre, sorry. Gives it to Couch. Couch comes out wide. Here's Richter Solder. He's away. He's got McCulloch there. He's got Jock White. Jock White goes to 50. Tyron Mansell goes long looking for Burt. Can't find him and the ball goes through for a behind. These boys grow their hair, Dave, and they all look the same.
Catch your breath there, Macca. It's a 3-point lead now to North Launceston. And game's opening up all of a sudden. Brownie, I don't know if that's fatigue or maybe rotations down for the Pies, but it's sort of opening up a little bit.
And both teams have had opportunities, haven't they? Some of those running goals from inside 50 where they've been able to break the lines, but it hasn't worked very often for either side today. Really hard game to score.
Josh Arnold along outside defensive 50. He does that well. It's a contest near the boundary line. It'll be over. Boundary throw in. 7-9-51 North Launceston, Glenorchy 6-12-48. You're listening to 103.7 FM City Park Radio and 96.5 and via the live stream with myself, Dave Moore, Matthew McGee and Cam Brown. They have all the interviews after the game, all the news from the other grounds. Holmer gets it down towards the boundary line once again though. It'll trickle over. And Jake Pearce tries to take possession. Macca.
Half time at Windsor Park. It's Launceston 4-12-36, leading the Tigers 4-5-29. Lauderdale 10-10-70 lead Devonport 3 goals straight 18. And half time down at North Hobart, it's Clarence 7-8-50. Hobart City Demons 4-5-29.
Okay, Clarence getting on top there. Now that's thumped towards the boundary line. A bit of a query there about deliberate. It's not forthcoming, so it'll be a boundary throw in. We're about 80 metres around from North Launceston's goal. They've kicked the only goal of this last quarter so far, and we're up to the 12-minute mark. There'll be Holmer up against Duffy. Holmer front position. Gets it down, shallow throw in it was. Fierce contest in at the ball. And on the bottom of the pack, it's Holmer. He tackles a Glenorchy opponent. It'll be a ball up once again as Harry Pearce gets up from the bottom.
The concern for Glenorchy, Dave, look, we've probably had close to 70 minutes of footy since quarter time, just the 2 goals. So going to have to try and manufacture something in the last half of this quarter.
Thomas to Ponting to Burt, who takes the mark. About 15 out, 45-degree angle, and Taron Thomas once again influential there, as was Josh Ponting now. I think Taron Thomas might be down here on the far side.
Well, don't run out, Dave. We'll keep an eye on him. You just call the play.
Oh, look, he's he's got back in the rhythm of the game in the second half. I thought he struggled in the first half.
Just that defensive role doesn't suit him, I don't think. His natural ability is to attack, and he likes that sort of wing half-forward role.
Zach Burt, 45-degree angle, 20 out for goal. He's put it through. And that extends the lead to 9 points for the Northern Bombers. 8-9-57, Glenorchy 6-12-48. And that's the second goal of the day for Zach Burt.
He's the first multiple goal scorer. And Brownie, you said about manufacturing, and that's what they did. They hacked the kick forward, and Burt was in the right place at the right time. Inside 50s, courtesy of Dave Gruber, and it's 11-2 Glenorchy. 11 North Lonnie 2 to Glenorchy. Clearances 10-4 North Lonnie, and hit-outs Alex Lee right on top there, 11-5. So that midfield, the North Launceston midfield, are well on top. Taron Thomas has gone in there, Dave. So he's okay from the injury. You'll be pleased to hear that. But they're definitely giving him the more attacking role in this second half of the game. They sit a couple back behind the footy, North Lonnie, because Glenorchy are only playing 4 forwards at this stage, Brownie. Interesting when you're a goal or so behind. They're pushed them all up on or behind the footy. Holmer, he's up in the ruck this time against Duffy. Couch could not take the ball. Here's Mansell. There's a free kick back in the centre. It's against Taron Thomas.
Yeah, it's going to go to Liam Smith, who's a penetrating kick. He's got Gunther wide.
Liam Smith gives it over the top to Gunther. Gunther. He takes the ball on centre wing. He looks down the line. Here's Mitch Hills up against Jock White. Hills gets a set, protects the zone and says, "Get out of my way, young fella." And Mitch Hills, he's going to look for 50, breaks it, goes right to the top of the square. The ball's going to fall short. Rainbird goes up. Oh, big contest there. Couch was coming through and collecting the Glenorchy player. Hills is caught with a footy. Umpire says play on. And it looks as though it's going to be a ball up 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Glenorchy end of the ground. They trail by 9 points. 6-12-48. Trail North Lonnie 8-9-57. 15-minute mark of this last quarter. It's a big battle between these perennial powerhouses. Here's Taron Thomas doing it at both ends now. Goes backwards to Connie Young. It's a hack kick forward. Ponting gets the lucky bounce. He goes inside and outside now to McCulloch. Up against Geared. McCulloch 1-2 bites of the cherry. Got Tommy Bennett running forward. Ball goes the other side though, and it's going to be repelled by Connor Salter.
Salter gets a nice kick away now towards Mott, who's had a good game today. Reece Mott plays all over the ground as Reece Mott. He does a kick-outs on occasions. He kicks inside 50 now. It's a big contest here. Taron Thomas in front. Jay Bowden now gets possession. He handballs it away. Oh, fierce contest in that there was Jock White. It comes out now towards Walsh. He's tackled just in time. He gets the kick away. towards Brad Coxgood, who's going to settle things down from halfback. They'll reset here now, the Bombers. I'll tell you what, Josh Ponning's been good today. He's another good player for the Bombers as he gets the handball now towards Tom Donnelly. Donnelly to Richter Salter. He fumbles. He has time to recover on that left foot of his up towards the wing. Chance. Good mark. Tom Bennett. He's good in those one-on-one situations.
They're out on their feet here, the Pies, Brownie, with a couple of injuries out on the ground and only 2 rotations. It's going to come to bite him in this last 10 minutes.
Tom Bennett to Tyron Mansell. Impressed with this young man today. He goes laterally to Brad Coxgoodger. He's adjacent to the centre circles. He goes the other side of the centre circles now towards Jock White, who's lifted since quarter time. He steams in towards attacking 50 towards McCulloch. He doesn't quite take the mark, or he does, says the umpire.
It's got to be a free kick.
Or a free kick. Yeah, I think the umpire now signalling the holding of the Guernsey there. So it's a free kick to Bart McCulloch.
As a forward, Brandon, that's got to be a free kick. You take front position, you've got the defender, he scragged him, it's got to be a free kick, and Bart McCulloch will have the resulting shot at goal.
They've just lifted, haven't they, Dave, the last 5 or 10 minutes. Just been able to find some time and space with the footy.
Just that
hit
run.
Up some targets. And Glenorchy, as you mentioned, Macca, they're out on their feet at the moment. And
well, Jock White then, he ran from the defensive 50 to get involved in that play, and they just can't go with their run at the moment.
Bart McCulloch
kicks this game over, boys.
From about 45. He goes to the right. Doesn't quite make the distance. It's towards the behind post. Is it out on the full? It is. It'll be a relieving free kick to the Magpies in the back pocket. Looks like it'll be taken there by Harrison Gunther.
So Gunther is going to take the ball deep in their defensive 50, right next to the point post. What are they, boys? Still 9 points down. They're going to have to kick 2 goals, and they've only kicked 1 since half time. In fact, they've only kicked 2 since quarter time. So they've got a lot to do. Glenorchy, Homer gets the resulting kick in, gives it to McCulloch, and McCulloch sticks up the right juke, and he does a little pump when he takes the mark. He's excited, Big Bartholomew. He's probably taken 4 or 5 marks now inside 50, Brownie. And if he'd have kicked straight, he could have had a few more on the board. He's only kicked 1, but he's going to be the difference in the end. You said if he kicked the last one, it's game over. It went out of bounds. If he kicks this one, it's got to be game over too then.
I would think so. And that's where it's difficult for Glenorchy with the matchup, isn't it? If you've got Hills and Reynolds forward.
But McCulloch, 30 out directly in front. He gives it the double cobra and he says, thanks, boys. We're nearly home here. It's been a terrific game for North Launceston. They were challenged and they fought their way back into it. Bart McCulloch kicks 2 and they're away.
I'm very reticent to call game over.
9-9-63, the Bombers lead Glenorchy 6-12-48. Dave Moore, I know what you're going to say.
Live stream game here a few weeks ago, North Launceston, Lauderdale. It's there on YouTube. I called it over.
They are walking wounded, Glenorchy. They are out on their feet. They got hands on hips.
It's not over yet, boys.
Well, the scoreboard doesn't lie. They kicked 7 out of the last 9 goals in this game. So
different game, Dave.
Really
different game.
Now.
Back in the middle, Alex Lee gets it down. Chance here, though, for the Pies. Tackle laid there. And to a standstill. It'll be a ball up. That's young Daly there. Who's, I think he's making his debut today, Brownie? Callum Daly?
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen him. And look, he hasn't been overawed by the occasion. I've been impressed with his tackling in particular. He's got his head over the footy and worked really hard.
Great experience for the young man. Mackie, you're about to make a point.
Oh, he's carrying number 62, Brownie. Might as well be at Flemington. One thing I was going to say, boys, was that Jay Bowden, North Lonnie have smashed Glenorchy in the stoppages this quarter. He sat at full forward nearly for the whole quarter. Well, they're against the breeze. Do they have to push him in the midfield a bit quicker?
Well, they've probably
can't do everything, I know.
They've probably got to stick with it now, but probably early on in that quarter when they just couldn't get some quality ball forward.
Walsh to Richter Salter.
Maybe, and I think I called Mitch Rainbird was the player that could have gone forward.
I think they've just missed the boat a bit there because they're a fair way behind now, Dave.
Walsh to Richter Salter up towards Couch. He's pushed off his kick. It falls in the lap of Jordan Arnold. They need a goal in the next minute or two to be any chance here, the Pies.
Still haven't flicked that switch. They've flicked it on over at Invermaid Park with the lights, Dave, but nothing here.
As Jordan Arnold goes short to Mitch Rainbird, who's on the boundary line. They've got to move it quickly. Sums up his options here. He looks to his left. His eyes are darting. I think he'll go up the line. Yes, he will. That's a long kick. Up there looking for Duffy, but in front there was Lee, who's had a great second half. Yes. This man's been fantastic today too, Brad Coxgoodger. And as he gets it to Ponting. Ponting, the quiet achiever of this Northern Bombers side. He puts in week after week. He's been influential today. He's going to go short. And Coxgoodger now. Does he take that inside the line?
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds on the full.
You mentioned Alex Lee. I said at half time that the game was pretty neutral in the ruck, but he's definitely done a lot more around the ground.
In the second half. Well, I thought maybe Duffy in the first half just shaded him, but it's been a good battle. Glenorchy got to be brave here. You've got to go through the corridor, you'd think.
Josh Arnold's got it off Daly. He touches the ball to the ground once, runs his full measure, kicks towards the wing. In front there is Thomas. He dives on top of the ball. He can't take it. He gets back on it a second time. He might have been pushed in the back, was he? No, says the umpire. He might be holding the ball now. Yes, he is.
Just that breeze held that, even that kick up. The Demons by 38 over the Port Adelaide Power over in Melbourne, and it's scores level at Etihad.
Well, it's an interesting contest. Here's Reece Mott. He's one of the better players for Glenorchy for mine. Goes short, finds Zach Webster. In the long sleeves, he's a couple of kicks out from goal. He goes towards the pocket. He's looking for a lead there, but no one went there. And the mark's taken in defence there by Event. Event now has the switch to Donnelly. They're out here, North Launceston. The handball will come over to Foon. No, it won't. Donnelly instead gets it to Richter Solder. Richter Solder up the wing. They've got runners everywhere now. Here's Mark Walsh. Will he get to the ball before Gunther? No, he doesn't. Well done, Harrison Gunther. Gunther still on the ball against Walsh, and he neutralised that contest. It'll be a ball up just forward of centre wing. North Launceston 63, lead Glenorchy 48.
Been a pretty honest player today, Thomas Donnelly. We know he's more a Dow defender, but I think he's starting to get more assured with ball in hand, taking a few more risks, and played pretty well today, mate.
Had a really good game at Even May Park, Brownie, where they actually played him up the ground a little bit on a wing even, and he had a really good game. And pleased because he couldn't get back into the side after his Mariners commitments, which surprised me because I think he adds an extra effort to them. Ball goes inside, 50 for North Lonnie. Tarrant Thomas over the top to Bart McCulloch. He steps inside. He's got Jake Pearce, 20 out directly in front. Pearce goes the dribble kick. Oh my goodness. Jason Dunster would be furious. He tried to kick it through. All he had to do was kick it over the top. He's gone the dribble kick and kicked it straight to a Glenorchy player who was like a soccer goalkeeper. Dave Moore, you're old school. Kick it up in the air,
can't believe it. I can't. I'm speechless.
Speechless. Jason Dunster wouldn't be speechless on the bounce.
Oh, it's a shame because it would have capped off a pretty good game for him today.
Oh,
and,
Jake
smart
Pearce.
again.
He'd like it again.
Thomas.
Could have been a push out against Duffy. Umpire says play on. This is Jackie Avent. He's head down as he does. Gives it over to Connie Young, one of those young defenders. Gives it over to Lee, who got it from Mansell. Here's Donnelly, the big source. Here's Tarrant Thomas. He reaches for the footy. He takes the ball 60 out from goal. He looks inside. It's a tricky kick. In fact, it was a poor effort. It's cut off. Jay Bowden has literally got 70 metres in front of any opponent. He breaks the 50. Donnelly's closing in. Bowden tries to sell St Candy inside. He bounces the ball. Jay Bowden, goal, ski! What a mark, what a goal, what a player, Jay Bowden. Tom Donnelly did all he could. He couldn't do it. He stepped back inside. Who would have thought of that
was
other than Jay Bowden? But he had the nous to finish, and it was a goal. What a goal, Jay Bowden.
Such a smart player. And look, he actually looked up, and at one point he had probably 70 metres in front of him, but it was a terrific goal. He knew that he probably wasn't going to make the distance against the breeze from outside 50, so smart enough to run around the man on the mark and or guarding the mark and kick the goal.
Credit to Brandon Young Bank Smith there. I think he hacked the ball forward, and Tarrant Thomas, just an error there, a short kick. He probably didn't need to do it. Easy from here, I know, is here come the Bombers. Clearance from the middle. Couch up towards half forward, but falls in the lap there of Josh Arnold. Still a contest here. There's still time. 24-minute mark. We've probably got 4 or 5 minutes left. They trail by only a couple of goals. The Pies, as it's up towards the wing. Here's Webster. Webster handball now. Here's Daly. Daly inside 50. It's going to fall into the arms of a Glenorchy player there, and Josh Watts, who's taken the mark.
Gone forward.
Only about 40 out.
Oh, what did we
just
say,
left of
game
centre. I told you not to say game over, boys. It's still a contest here for sure.
It's going to take a good kick here, though. He's about 40 out into the breeze.
Normally a pretty good kick, though, Macca, in this situation.
Josh Watts, injured earlier in the game, back on the ground. 40 out. Is it off to the left? It's coming back nicely. It's a goal. Glenorchy trail by 3 points here at UTAS Stadium at the 25-minute mark. And all of a sudden, after looking gone, they're right back in it.
You want to say I told you so, don't you, Dave? Anyway, we'll see how we go. It's North Launceston. 9-9-63. They are hanging on. Glenorchy 8-12-60. What a game. 25-minute mark, this round 16 battle. Glenorchy, they're not down that. What a win it will be if they can get this clearance. Duffy, he's up against Lee. Goes down to Rainbird for Glenorchy. Well tackled there by Rainbird on Cox Goodger. And the ball's held up. There can't be long left.
No, probably only a couple of minutes.
Yeah, at least.
It'd be hard to be critical of either side today. They've given their absolute best and lots of endeavour and hard work around the contest.
Duffy gets that all-important hit out, but it's North Launceston through Ponting. Gives it to Taron Thomas, over to McCulloch. Back to Thomas, steps inside. What a goal this will be. He's got the 50 on all by himself. Looks for Burt, but the ball's gone through for a point. Oh, excitement machine, Taron Thomas.
Jeez,
North Lonnie, 9-10-64, Glenorchy, 8-12-60.
Kick out from fullback. And North Launceston have a loose player in defence, Tom Bennett at the moment. Quick kick out of the pack, but it's going to fall straight in the arms of Tom Donnelly. He'll be told, I think, just to settle things down and take his time. You haven't got a lot of time to kick it these days, with the new rules about getting rid of the ball quickly. He gets it laterally to Jay Foon.
Got a man up, Glenorchy, got a man up.
His defensive side of the wing for our radio listeners. He goes up the wing now toward Tom Bennett. Well, I said was a loose man in defence a moment ago, but he's crept back up the ground. Josh Watts on the mark. Time clock 26:23. He's going to go backwards. Hayden Goss.
Right, now they've got them all now.
That's
There it
it.
is.
The siren. It's all over here at UTAS Stadium. And North Launceston maintain the top place on the ladder, winning a thrilling contest over Glenorchy here. 9-9-63, defeating the Magpies 8-12-60. We've got Warney, who will be out in the ground in a moment. He'll try and catch a word with one of the players from North Launceston, but a fascinating contest. Goal kickers, Macca.
The goal kickers, 2 goals to Zach Bird and Bart McCulloch. They both got one in the last, all important. Cox Goodger, Josh Ponting, Callum Harrison, Taron Thomas. What a great last quarter from him. And Lewis Holmer, all singles. For Glenorchy, Joe Bowden, goal of the day. He got 2. Josh Watt, Zach Webster, James Webb, Harrison Pearce, John Geard and Mitch Rainbird, all singles. What a game of TSL football, boys. We thought we could come here today and see a real contest, and that's exactly what our listeners and our viewers got. A top 3 battle. I can't wait until they meet each other in the finals. Let's hope they do. Not to forget Clarence as well, but goodness gracious, what a contest.
Well, look, you couldn't get much more even than that. And well done to North Launceston. They work really hard, particularly since quarter time to get the result. They just looked like they were getting over the ground a little bit better than Glenorchy, but full credit to the Pies and Aaron Cornelius, because they surged home in the last 5 minutes on the back of a brilliant goal to Jay Bowden and another one to Watts, and gee, there wasn't much in it in the end. Unfortunate, I guess, for them that they lost a couple of players in Quinn and also their captain in Braden Webb, so that they were bad losses for them. But North Launceston still, having said that, on the counter argument, they had 2 of their prime movers, as we mentioned throughout the call, in Lockhart and Whitford. So they've probably counterbalanced each other when it's all said and done. But no doubt these 2 teams are going to feature prominently in the finals, Dave.
Now we've got Warney down there, and he seems circling around Bart McCulloch. So I think Bart's about to move over to Warney right now. In fact, they're getting together. So I'm expecting a call here in a second from Adam Child, who's done a great job down on the boundary as per usual. And we'll go down the boundary now. We've got Adam Child with Bart McCulloch.
Yeah, we do have Bart McCulloch here. I know you didn't want to call it. Dave, but Bart, you kicked the winning goal, mate. How was that?
Look, the boys played a great game, and it was good to slot one through there late. But yeah, certainly the legs were pretty heavy. It was a very, very tough game and a really good game. I really enjoyed it.
Glenorchy took it right up to you. I guess a bit of a taste of finals footy to come up very soon.
Oh, absolutely, certainly very high level. That's the toughest game we've had this year. Both teams hard at it. Tackle pressure was there, and footy was moving really quick. It was really good to be a part of.
Now, your mate Mitch Hills, fullback of the century, as Macca was calling him, playing on you. Any words of chirps with him? Because the crowd here really love him.
The crowd certainly let him know that he's not welcome here. Look, certainly no words said between us, but it was very tempting, that's for sure.
Good stuff, mate. Well done. Great win, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Warney.
Thanks, Warney, down there in the boundary line with Bart McCulloch. We're going to say farewell in a moment to our live stream viewers. We'll continue on, of course, for City Park Radio listeners, and you can continue tuning in via our live stream. But finish today, what do you think of the performance by the Bombers?
Yeah, look, full credit to them, Dave. They got the win, and look, really important because we know how tight it is, a logjam at the top of the ladder. So they'll be disappointed, Glenorchy. I thought they gave it their all, and both teams, full credit to them. They should, I guess, be applauded for the way they went about it, because lots of one-on-one contests. I thought both backlines, the way the game was played today, was set up for them, made it really hard for forwards and to get any, I guess, foray and clean entries inside forward 50 arcs.
Thanks very much to Cam Brown and Matthew McGee. So farewell now to our live stream viewers. We'll continue on now for City Park Radio. And